Good morning, my neighbors! Hey, fuck you! Yes! Yes! Fuck you, too!
What's up, dirty dogs?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's good to see you. They have not started their show just yet. They're still showing some of the agenda items. But it's good to see you on this beautiful Tuesday morning. What's up, Eduardo? Shit gonna get spicy today? It might. You got the fired LAFD chief pleading her case over there. You know, the DEI back to begging to get her job back. That's how she got it in the first place. I say you don't hire her back and you fire the mayor too. How about that one? Recall her. Can't fire her, so recall her. Get rid of her. Remove her. Enough's enough already. They've done enough damage. And I need to let you guys know something about both of those idiots I just named just a second ago. Both the DEI token hires. 6 weeks we are now. Completely past 6 weeks in the fire, and not one motherfucking property has been fixed. Nothing. In 6 fucking weeks, when they sat there with the president, begged the president for fucking money, and he told you, well, they need to get in there like tomorrow. Oh, they will? No, by the end of the week, everything will be done. Go back and watch the press conference. See what she says. She says it out of her dumb token mouth. Okay, the little puppet got up there, and then they took the puppet's mic from her. You remember that? I remember all of that. That's it. Old Democrat puppet. So there you go. There you have it. Nothing has been fucking done. Nothing. You can go and there's many videos to look online. You can still see drone shots of nothing done. You can see Adam Carolla. He put up 2 videos. Thankfully, his home survived, but everything around it completely gone. No power at his house. 6 weeks later, he still can't live at his house. Even though it didn't burn. No mudslides, no burn mark, nothing. It's perfect inside. He still had his Christmas tree up. Look how packed it is. Oh, look at all the little LAFDers for the DEI hire.
March in the year 2025.
Let's get it.
My name is Marquis Harris Dawson. I serve as president of this city council.
Speaking of tokens.
Public comment for today's meeting will be taken in
old sleazy Marquise.
The John Ferraro Council Chambers. Mr. Clerk, let's begin our proceedings by
token hire after token hire.
Mr. President, Blumenfield, Harris Dawson, Hernandez.
And you wonder why the Democrats are in the toilet.
Padilla, Clark, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto Martinez, Yaroslavsky. 12 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
All right, first order of business.
Approval of the minutes of February 28,
one token after the next.
Councilmember Price moves. Councilmember Rodriguez seconds. What's next?
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Not all of it, Elon.
Padilla moves. Councilmember
I'm certainly no commie. I'm surrounded by these communists.
Mr. President,
and there's a lot of people who think and feel just like me, Elon.
I'll ask everyone in the chamber to stand.
In fact, Elon, you must be communist because you were here.
Councilmember Nazarian of the 2nd District.
You were here up until last year. Let me guess, you changed like the Democrat Party did.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Oh, I know you guys changed. Don't know when. Nobody's ever got a date. But somehow, some way you changed.
Liberty and justice for all.
I don't know who's dumber. Like I said, the actual politicians that are Democrats are their dumb voter base. Probably their dumb voter base. Those people are fucking dumb. Dumb as they come.
Items 13 through 16 are
beggars.
which public hearings have
I
been
need
held.
more crumbs. Give me more Democrat crumbs. I didn't get enough Democrat crumbs. I need help. I'm oppressed. Victim Olympic. I need help.
Public hearings have not been held. A community impact statement has been submitted for
Get another
item 30
fucking
by the
job,
Receiver
lowlife.
Neighborhood Council in support of the appeal. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Holy shit.
All right.
Watch live LA City Council to
us,
hear appeal
and we'll begin
from
with
fired
specials on
LAFD
my
chief
left
under
side.
dismissal. So
Councilmember
Channel
Rodriguez.
4 News is playing this live right now.
President, I have comments
Holy
for item
shit.
13,
Shout out to
and
her this
I would like
morning.
to move to notify the H&H report and amending motion of 13A.
All right.
Is there a second to this motion?
That's pretty big, ladies and
Second
gentlemen,
to,
because I assure you, 4 ain't the only one there.
Second by Councilmember Rodriguez. All right. Councilmember Hutt.
Hi, Terry. Good morning.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Hola.
I'd like to call item 16 for comments.
All right, thank you. Any others on the west side? All right, on this side, Councilmember Rodriguez.
Yes, I'd like to call
Hi,
item 13
Stinks.
for a separate
Go sit
vote,
down so
and
everybody
item
can see ya.
17 for a separate vote. And for 30, I believe we...
Stinks is here, but he's
will
walking
be
around, so
having
give it a sec.
Okay.
Councilmember Price.
Thank you, Council President. Out of an abundance of caution, the city attorney has asked me to recuse myself
Of
from
course.
item 13.
Every
because
fucking
I-
day. If you ain't the biggest useless sack of shit,
Item 1-3.
get out of here already, dude.
All right, any other
Fucking Grady,
specials?
bro.
I don't see anybody else on the queue. Mr. Clerk, before we begin, where does this leave us
City
with
looks
regard to item
and
13?
runs like a toilet.
Mr. President, there is a motion on the floor to note and file.
Nobody wants to
the
say anything.
Housing and Homelessness Committee report and motion 13A.
Kind of like when you're in the hood.
All right.
57 people saw one person get shot, but
Do we need
nobody
to
done
do we-
seen
does that need to
nothing.
go to public comment, or can we do that?
That
now?
can be taken prior to public comment, sir.
All right. All right.
You
so,
wonder why
which
the
items are
area
available for
or
us
the
to
city
vote on?
council
For
is
Councilman
or
Alvarez,
are the
items
way they
14
are.
And 15.
All right. Items 14 and 15.
Because they
are
put up with the
now
shit. They
before us.
they
Open
bend the
roll.
knee. And they
Close
love
the
it.
roll.
And then they
Tabulate
cry
the
and say some white dude came in and did it
now.
all. It's all the
Right.
white man's fault. White devil done did
We now
that.
Consider item 13, for which motion Hernandez Rodriguez has been introduced. to
Always
note
the
and
white
file.
man's fault.
All right.
And before we do that, I believe Councilmember Price is recused on this item.
All right.
Of course he's
right.
recused. Has he
So
has he
item
been on
13,
anything
The motion to
in the
note
last
and file
6
the item
months?
is before us. Let's open the roll.
Not
Close
much.
the roll. Tabulate
Derek,
the vote.
yeah, I'm getting ready, Derek, right now. I'm
12
ripping
ayes.
it up.
All right. I'm sorry, Mr. Clerk.
I'm sorry.
Council District
I don't
8
know
has
what we're
specials.
doing here, Mr. Clerk, because
That the
I'm just a
member
dumb
neglected to
token
read,
hire.
During the time when he was calling for specials. I'd like to call number 11 special and move to grant the PCN application. And call number 12 special and move that we waive the late fees on this item.
Thank you, Mr. President. And for the record, there are written motions to be distributed for items 11 and 12.
Thank you. All right, what's next? Oh, you have comments for 13, Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President.
Flush the
Colleagues,
toilet.
we introduced this motion on January 14th with an urgency clause because our city had just gone through one of the worst natural disasters
Urgency.
in history.
January
We saw the writing on the
14th.
wall. We knew
We're
that
damn near
rent
March
gouging
14th.
would run rampant. We knew that thousands of people had just lost jobs and were suddenly wondering how they would be able to pay their rent. We knew that we were facing a second wave to our eviction crisis.
Hopefully there's a
since
third
we
and fourth.
introduced it, that day, this motion has been cut and amended and whittled down. And as this body wrung its hands
Channel 7's
and
there
worried
now.
endlessly about the process, LA County and their Board of Supervisors did what we were unable to do. They passed a set of strong protections for tenants who were impacted by an unprecedented event. What does that say about us? That a governing body responsible for 88 cities could pass protections, but we couldn't. By failing to pass these protections, we looked away from more than 7,000 union workers who lost wages and jobs because of the fires, from gardeners and nannies whose jobs disappeared overnight. We looked away from a city whose renters were, of renters where too many struggle already to make ends meet. We heard every excuse for inaction. We need to follow process. We need to make sure there's no fraud. We need more time. When it comes to wealthy communities and corporate interests, we see how fast this body can move. But when it's about keeping working class renters in their homes, apparently we're content to let the clock run out.
Of course you are.
So yes, I'm grateful the county stepped up where this council failed. But let's be clear, we should be leading the fight for housing justice, not relying on the county. Los Angeles is a city of renters, and I hope that we can do better for our constituents moving forward. I hope we fight harder to keep people in their homes. I hope we do more to catch people when they're in crises. And I hope we fight harder for people who can't afford to hire lobbyists and special interest groups. Thank you.
So more tokens admitting they couldn't get
what's
the
next,
job
Mr.
done, that somebody else had to
Sotomayor,
do the
sorry.
job for them. That's what DEI is all about. Begging for a job as a victim, getting the job, doing nothing, everything falls apart, and it's somebody else's fault, like the white man. Got it.
On the county, you bring
Thank
this
you, the
forward,
county,
pushing
because the city couldn't take care of it.
And I'm thankful the county did the right thing, but I'm also thankful for your leadership and for doing something that created a discussion on a much larger scale. And so I think this is good for the city of the entire county now of Los Angeles. So thank you so much.
All right, thank
They're
you.
admitting.
What's next,
They're
Mr. Clerk?
admitting they couldn't get it
The
done.
council may now
I
consider
can't believe
item
it.
16, called special by Councilmember
Yeah, they're
Hutt.
going to brush that right over.
Councilmember Hutt.
You could staple them all together and you wouldn't get one Mensa member.
On item number 16.
Another
while I
unelected
deeply
idiot.
appreciate the
This is your
environmental
Kamala
goals
Harris,
and
who just got
push
thrown
for
in
battery
because of the
powered
color of her
water
skin
heaters
and because she has a
electric
vagina
water
between her
heaters.
legs.
We have to acknowledge the significant
Not because she was the
financial
best
burden
vagina that was
that a
black
mandate
for the
would
job.
place on our residents.
Because she's the moldable
Forcing
puppet.
a citywide switch is simply not feasible. It's not equitable. Los Angeles already faces some of the highest electricity costs in the nation. It would cost $3,000 to $5,000 for a
Mo?
tankless water heater and almost $10,000 to replace an electrical panel. So do you mean to tell me
Yeah, the
that
rent
it
burden,
costed
Herdy.
around $15,000?
They're burdened
to
by
make a
everything.
full changeover,
Life. They're
and
burdened by life.
folks in my community just can't
Life.
afford it. I can't put that burden on an 85-year-old woman who lives next door. I can't do that to any of my constituents. In my own home, I can't even turn on the microwave and the toaster at the same time. It will require me to change out my panel. This burden will disproportionately fall on people who are already struggling to meet basic needs. I completely understand we have to take steps towards preserving the environment, but our constituents should not be forced to choose between compliance and financial stability. I cannot give my aye vote on item
So
number
you're
16.
burdened by what has been.
You're fired.
All right, Councilman Riosowski.
You're burdened by what has
Thank
been.
you, Council
Not
President.
$1, Trump. Not one
There are a bunch of
fucking
advocates,
dollar.
I believe, who are here to speak today on this item. I just want to say,
Let's go.
The air quality crisis in Southern California is one of the most serious health challenges we face. AQMD estimates we need to cut hydrogen oxides by over 67% to meet air quality standards by the 2037 deadline. This is local air pollution impacts. We know that gas-powered
Of course she
furnaces
could, Randy.
and water
She's
heaters are
playing
some of the
victim.
largest
That's what they do.
sources of
She's a
harmful
big
pollution in
victim.
our region.
She was oppressed. They made her sit on the back of the bus on the way here. She had to use a separate water fountain. I know all of it. It was all by the white people.
South Coast AQMD's proposal
Today.
is a
Not in the
flexible
50s, not in the
approach
40s,
that
not in the
focuses
30s.
on
Today.
standards for manufacturers. It takes the burden off of consumers, and there is no requirement in what we're proposing to adopt today, or support today, that requires folks to
hot.
replace a functioning system. This is only when you
I'd
go
rather
out to buy
beat
a
off
new
every day
one,
of my life
when it's broken
and bang that
you
out.
have to buy
Every
one
day. I'll beat off
that's less
every day. Give me
polluting.
porn.
So this
I'll beat
concern
off
about
every day.
requiring people to go out and buy new things
Bass player,
when we
thank
have
you.
a functioning system already in place is just not true. These standards are going to reduce smog-forming pollution, cut billions in health-related
Thank you,
costs, and
Dante.
improve quality of life, especially
Where
for
you
those
at?
communities most affected by
Left.
poor air quality. The moment for stronger action here at home has never been more important when it's clear the federal government's only interested in air quality is to dismantle
Yes,
progress
whiteness
for the
broke
benefit
her
of polluters.
electrical panel. Some white guy came and
I
broke
urge
her,
colleagues
broke the
to
breakers.
support this
Guaranteed it was a
resolution
white
to
guy.
back the
Guaranteed.
South Coast AQMD's proposed rules 1111 and 1121.
Call it what it is.
And move us toward a healthier, more sustainable Los Angeles. Thank you.
All right, Councilman Rodriguez.
Thank you. So I just wanted to rise up and
Oh, Monaco,
acknowledge
everybody.
Ms. Hutt's
Shout out to
comments.
Monaco.
Because it's one of the parts of the conversations that continues to get overlooked when there's these overarching policies, and we have a shared commitment to ensuring that we have, for the very communities that we represent,
You can be, Al. All you have to do is vote
responsible policy and
Democrat.
advocacy that doesn't force an overburden on the working families that have no other alternative means but the most cost-effective solutions to maintain.
She's handsome.
And so while we have these overarching policy dialogues with, individuals that have the affluence and the ability to engage in these types of conversations while our communities
Yes,
are
the
out
flower is too big, Rick. I agree.
we have to remember
the size
some
of her
the very
face.
pollutants for our neighborhoods are born out of the result of the trucking that we're going to see an increase of from all the material and debris that is getting trucked into our communities as a result of some of the most recent devastation. The fact that so many of our communities are intersected by freeways and airports without any mitigations. Those are some of the daily impacts that our communities are burdened by. And so while we
God
have these
damn, those
conversations,
freeways,
and I
airports.
support the intent of what we're trying to do.
You can always
here,
move.
But
That's what people
what
do
I
when they
wanna
don't like
ring
their
the
neighborhood.
bell
They
on
move.
is something that I thought was really
It's
important.
funny how
that you
any
said,
and everybody who
is that
becomes
it's
wealthy
our working class
from an
communities
impoverished neighborhood
that when
always
their
moves away. Why?
systems fail, are
Why?
now forced to look for very expensive solutions.
I know why,
to
but
be
do
able
you?
to pursue going forward in order to maintain any reasonable level of quality of life. And so, who are we really saving here? It's great platitudes, it's great politics, it's fine. But the reality is it does a disservice to a lot of the working members of our communities who don't have the means to be able to invest
Thank you,
in
Sparky.
these more modernized
Captain
forms
Sparky, thank you.
of solutions for heating and all of the variety of circumstances that you referenced. So I want to thank you for bringing rise to that. While I support these issues and the concept and what we're going to, and what we're driving towards. I think the reality is that there's a
Yes, I
level
do, Chauncey. I live
of
within the LA
very
City in a
affluent
sense, still.
thinking among individuals that are not bearing the day-to-day impacts
I vote the other way.
the way working class communities do each and every day.
These people
And
don't
I
represent
advise
me.
everybody,
I don't
while
take a
they're
fucking
on those
penny from them.
platitudes, to remember that there are
So
other
fuck
policy
them.
positions that they could be taking to ensure that there's equity in the decisions.
And at least
that
I
we're
don't
making,
gaslight
to
gaslight
ensure
like
that
I'm
we
doing
can
something for
better
the city.
improve the quality
Like
of
they
life,
do.
the air quality in these very neighborhoods with some of the day-to-day activities.
In
that are
fact, by me
affecting these
paying my
neighborhoods
sales tax,
currently.
I do
Thank you.
as much as they do, if not more.
All right,
And bring the
seeing
attention
no other
to people that
speakers
don't live
on
here
this,
to see the
matter,
shenanigans and the
are you
lies and the
prepared to,
gaslighting and the
take a
fake
vote on this one,
oppression
Mr. Clerk?
and the victim Olympics
All right,
that
let's
happens
open the
here
roll on this
every
item.
day when they bring their
Close the
begging
roll,
voter
tabulate
base
the
in.
vote.
I need more crumbs. I didn't get enough crumbs. Please give me more crumbs.
All right, what's next?
Mr. President, the council may proceed to public comment.
Finally.
Mr. Lee?
President, I apologize. I'd like to request item number 9, if we could continue this to Friday's council meeting.
Okay.
And for the record, sir, that would be Friday, March 7, 2025.
All right, without objection, that'll be the order. All right, let's prepare for public comment at this time.
Well, you wouldn't have them in LA if they ran the city right, Howard.
Providing public comment. When it is your turn to speak, please state.
They were
which
part
of
of a
the agenda
response
items you'd like to speak to.
due to the
You'll have 1
incompetence
minute per
of the
item,
city.
Up to 3 minutes total for the items open for public comment.
6 weeks. Not one
When
house has
speaking
been
on the agenda
fixed.
items,
6
you
fucking
must be on
weeks.
topic.
How long do we
Our
wait,
goal is
Howard?
to get through as many speakers as we can. If you are not on topic,
I'm guessing you
or
don't need to
cannot
stop
tell
the
whether you are on
looters either,
topic,
right, Howard?
You will get one brief warning from me or the council president. At that point, you need to get immediately.
Which are
and
probably
clearly on
part of
topic.
her voter
If
base.
you do not do
It's
so,
funny how I see
if you
one
again stay
side.
on
I don't
topic,
see the beggars
you
on the other
forfeit the
side.
rest of your
I just
speaking
don't.
time, and we will move on to the next speaker.
The other side filled with beggars. So
The
many I
items
couldn't
open for
count.
Public comment on the agenda are items 1 through 8.
And I
items
bet
10
you if we
through
looked at
12,
the looters, they're
and
either
items
non-voters
17
or
through
Democrat
30.
voters.
So again, let me repeat. The items that are open
Thieves.
for public comment on the agenda are items 1
Thieves.
through 8, 10 through 12, and 17 through 30. Item number 9 has been continued to this Friday, March 7th. Members of the public may also speak for up to 1 minute for general public comment. During general public comment, members of the public may
Thief
speak
beggars.
to any of the items or anything else in the city's subject matter jurisdiction. I have a couple more
course
announcements.
they
and if I
stand
can
with
have
Ukraine.
the
Are you
interpreters
kidding
make
me?
This one allowed for the room.
They all suck
If you
Zelensky's
require a
cock.
Spanish language
Just like
interpreter,
Obama did in
please make sure
2014 to
pause
create the
every
coup to
few
put
sentences so the
Zelensky in there.
interpreters can interpret.
We started this whole
Usted
mess in
requiere un
Ukraine in
intérprete en
2014.
español,
Go
por
look.
favor, haga una pausa cuando está
We're
hablando
just
para
dealing
que
with it
el
11 years
intérprete
later.
pueda hacer la traducción.
Don't worry. We will pause your time while the interpreters are interpreting, so you will get the same amount of time as everyone else.
No se preocupe, usted va a tener el mismo tiempo que los demás, el tiempo de interpretación no se le va a contar, de tal manera que tendrá el mismo tiempo que los demás.
Thank you.
Gracias.
And as far as lining up for public comment, please make sure to wait until you hear your name called. The names are called at random. As soon as you hear your name called, you're welcome to line up on your left-hand side of the council chambers. You do not have to speak in the order in which your name was called. Just wait until you hear your name. One final announcement. As you can see, this is a packed council chamber. So I'd just like to remind everybody to please stay on topic so that we can get through as many speakers as possible. Due to the sheer number of people here, we might not be able to take every single speaker.
Of course not.
So again, the more focused you are, the more on topic you are, the more efficient we can be. Thank you.
And in the interest of letting everybody know what we want to do to conserve time, it's our expectation that we will stop public comment at 11:45. At 11:45 this morning.
Already, the communists cutting it off. Telling you how long it's going to be, how much time you get to talk. That made much of a difference, but...
I will now call names to come up and speak. Sylvia Castillo, Candace Jones, Robert Hawkins, David Evans, Gloria Medina.
Don't get angry at the truth. Oh, here we go. Gloria Molina. Who is it? It's 3-inch shrimp.
Good morning.
Gloria Molina was a city councilwoman, by the way.
Public comment. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you very much, City Attorney Google Translate. Start with number 17, local emergency on the homelessness. So I want to showing my support to our council president because he spent $3,000 per month on taxpayers' money to support homelessness. And
Thank
then
you,
right
Cubby.
now, still, after
morning.
declaring the local emergency on homelessness, we still have 80,000 people living on the street. So I really want to tell the council president, this is a really job well done. Let's continue to declare homeless emergency. Let's still continue to throw taxpayers' money away. Let's continue to waste our tax dollar. And then in the future, when the LAPD asking for money, when the LAFD asking for money, we got no money. Why is that? We throw them away, $3,000 per month, $4,000 per month, convert a luxury hotel to homeless. That's why you have no money.
Thank you.
Next item, let's go to item number 18. Thank you very much, City Attorney, the Google Translate. Thank you. Number 18 is about South LA Historic Neighborhood Marker. I'm here to showing the support to our council president, Harry Stousen, because the Figueroa neighborhood is definitely one of the best South LA historic neighborhood. Because the Figueroa prostitution services has been in South LA historic neighborhood for more than 50 years. What did our council member Harry Stousen do about the traditional historic Figueroa prostitution neighborhood services? Absolutely nothing. Every time I go to the bus, I drive, I walk, I ride a bicycle.
Speaker, this is not related to item 18, so I'm going to ask that you stick to the other items.
By down the South LA historic neighborhood, and then I was always stopped by the South LA Figueroa prostitute for no reason. Item number 30 is about the fire chief item. I want to know that during the fire, why I'm seeing on the news the fire chief have to send 1,000 firefighters back to home in the morning of the fire. That doesn't make any sense to me. And then also, I hear on the news that the mayor boss asking the fire chief do some sort of after-action report, and then why our fire chief continue to refuse to do that report. And then all of a sudden, I don't have any firefighting experience at all, so I don't know that. But what I know for sure is that one day before your anticipated disaster weather, one day before, you make sure you're all 3,000 firefighters ready, standing by. Nobody go home. That's what I know for sure. When you know there's a disaster coming, you make sure every LAPD, LAFD is standing by several hours before. That's a common sense right there.
General public comment?
Maybe he should be the president.
General public comment is that let's continue the fire item. So right now I'm hearing two stories on the news. Some sort of a news are saying that we need an LGBT fire chief because firefighting, we don't care about firefighting.
Fires are gay.
We care about the DEI and LGBT. And then some other story I hear is that the fire chief continue to fight with the council president, continue to fight with the mayor. That's why she got retaliated against. That's why she got fired. And then sometimes I also hear other stories on the news that the fire chief refused to put all the 1,000 firefighters stay on the January the 7th. And then because of her incompetency, that's why she has to get fired. So right now there are so many stories on the news. I really wish our council president, which is the best of the best, Figueroa council president, can tell us.
Thank you,
that
DEI
we need
hire
more
into cut.
DEI, we need more Figueroa fire chief instead of a regular fire
Speaker,
chief.
your time has expired. Next speaker.
Oh, we didn't have some DEIers or
Good morning.
angry
Which
at the
items would you like to
truth being
My
being
comment is
said.
on general
Love
comment and the agenda item of the appeal for the fire chief.
So you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, President Marquise Harris Dawson, and well-esteemed
Poor
city
little
council
DEI
members.
hires.
My
They
name
work
is
so
Robert
hard to do
Hawkins. I am
nothing.
the president of the Los Angeles City Stentorians. I stand before you today to speak on the corruption and systemic racism
Oh, by the whites.
that have plagued the Los Angeles Fire Department for way too long. Discrimination, harassment, retaliation against black firefighters continue to go unchecked, with no real accountability and a failure of leadership at the highest levels. The Stentorians have repeatedly attempted to work with Fire Chief Christian Crowley to address these issues of serious concern, yet we have seen no meaningful action, only empty promises. Today, we demand change. We demand leadership that will acknowledge and confront these issues head on. The Los Angeles City Stentorians firmly oppose the appeal and reinstatement of Fire Chief Christian Crowley.
Sure. Say it louder so it means more to yourself. Hi, Christy. No, I don't see Mr. Herman. Do you see him in there?
Good morning. And which items would you like to
I
speak
see
to?
in the back. You can see him in the
public
very
comment
back
in item
corner.
13.
Okay, so you said item 13?
Yeah.
So item 13 has we've already had public comment. It's already been voted on. But you're welcome to speak to it during general. So you have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Over
ML
the
speech.
past 2 months,
MLK
LA
speech
City,
co-
County,
incoming.
and state elected officials have proposed and imposed protections under the premise of helping those impacted by the Palisades, Hughes, and Eden fires. Last week, LA County BOS voted on a 6-month moratorium. This comes after LA City was subject to the longest tenant protections in the country in the form of moratoriums and rent freezes, despite the cost of insurance, utilities, and services rising exponentially. As a result, these regulations imposed on LA landlords since the onset of COVID have largely disincentivized investment in housing in Los Angeles. While most people tend to agree the city needs more housing, no one knows how to build it is up for debate. This factored in with the rising construction costs, softening rent markets, market rate and Section 8, and increased transfer taxes has disincentivized development from building housing. The loss of investment in the city due to regulation not only hurts greedy developers and landlords, but it also hurts other industries and hurts our tax
Speaker, your
base.
time has expired.
Good morning, general comment.
So you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
My name is Gloria Medina, and I'm an Angelino who loves this city and has worked for this city to serve communities for 30 years. It saddens me right now to see what's unfolding and to see the attacks in our city by wealthy developers trying to position themselves in this particular moment. Angelinos have been displaced, have lost employment, and are suffering the health implications of the fires. This is a moment to come
there's
together
Herman.
to move in
He is
unity
there,
and
Batman.
not to play the blame game or to have wealthy people in the city of Los Angeles position themselves. That is a strategy to divide us and conquer us. Let's be real. We have vultures salivating, trying to capitalize on this moment for gain and for profit. We had an election in the city, and as Angelinos, we spoke clear, and we elected an experienced leader, the first black woman to serve as mayor. We urge the council to step up into leadership and protect the voice of the people. We have no space for racism in the city, and the attacks on the mayor are racist. Thank you.
Before the next
Oh,
speaker speaks,
what
I'd
you
like
lick
to
her
call up
twat
more
while you're
names.
up there.
Gerard Wright, Laura Ramirez.
You already have your
Sylvia
Biden mushroom
Castillo,
stamp.
Dave Riles, Stefan Ozen, Daniel Hendrickson.
Yeah, I don't see
Which
Spindler.
items would you like to speak to?
It doesn't mean he's not there. I just don't see
Item
him.
30.
I didn't see Herman until just now.
So you have 1 minute for the item. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Sylvia Castillo, and I'm here as a concerned citizen I ask the president and the city council members to listen to the accord and the unity that we respect and ask of our leaders. Our concern is that
Yeah, I don't see 'em.
the issue of the mayor's authority
I see Stacy and for
to
sure.
remove
There they are back there in the
a
top corner,
fire
sitting
chief
down.
for dereliction of duty is within her authority and has been spoken to by the
Yeah, I don't
people
see
in
'em.
terms of voting for the mayor and making sure that this is a rule of law. Our concerns are that at this time of crisis, as we're trying to turn the corner, that we are seeing divisive political movements to do a public lynching of the first African-American mayor of Los Angeles. Let us not forget that we are here in support of accepting
So,
the
Speaker, your time's expired, but I'm going to ask, so you requested general public comment, but it sounds like you're talking about item 30. So just as a reminder to everybody, if you would like both item 30 and general public comment, please let us know, and that goes for any other items as well. One other reminder, because I know that the time goes by quickly, and there are a lot of folks here in the room. If we are unable to get to
Hair
you,
looks
or if we are
nice today.
unable to finish your public comment, remember that you can always go to lacouncilcomment.com. That URL is at the top of your agenda to provide written public comment for any item on the agenda.
So all we have to do is go to URL to find the information.
And 1 minute for general public comment.
Liquor for you?
Oh,
How about
viewer
liquor
discretion.
for you? Does anyone want liquor for you? I don't find it pleasing to have necessity for alcohol in all our communities. I find it very disrespectful that we influence our communities to get drunk, kill people, and bring harm and liability to those who don't want to be a part of the necessity of convenience of alcohol. Right, Mr. Grote? Mr. Grote, for the record, I am talking about alcohol. And I'm going to put it very clear. My fucking determination on fucking public convenience for fucking necessity for fucking sale of alcohol beverages are a fucking disgrace. Cite consumption fucking shit off the holdings in one location in Glendale. Are you familiar with that, Nazarian? That's what we don't want. But that's in CD 13. And look at the other dirty fucking alcohol issue here. Time again, we deal with these hearings on consumption of alcohol. Why? I believe that Django up there, our acting mayor, is probably drunk because.
So, which item are you speaking to? Well, you've
No
noted there are
I'm
multiple.
narrating the issues about alcohol and convenience.
Yes, but
asshole.
one of those. Yes, but the PCN
But
item
there are
9
two
was.
of them.
Mr. Herman, you can either let me speak, or you can forfeit the rest of your time. We're gonna hold his time this one time. Okay.
Hold
so
this time one
you
time.
have- there are
one
multiple alcohol-related items on there, but one of them was continued. So you've exhausted your 1 minute on item number 10, and item number 9 is no longer available.
Now the news is here.
Please identify
Now we
which
can
item
hold
you'd
his
like to
time.
speak to, or you can
Normally
use
we'll
general
just talk
public
over him and take his
Oh,
time.
heavenly.
Notice
So let's
that?
go to 30. Let's talk about Miss Christina Crowley and how your acting mayor, Mr. Django up there, did not help support her. Instead, he looked to fire her. I call that discrimination. I call that just not knowing what the fuck he was doing in his capacity that day, at that time. All this could have been prevented. All you had to do was summons me to remind you that, yes,
Summons
the
you?
reservoir was
Summon.
empty. There were high
I love you.
winds. And you don't have to be that fucking stupid to not understand that this would accelerate the fire. After all, to my left and to my right, we got honorable men and women of the fire department here to support Christine Crowley, just like I'm doing today. And the reason is because we have already known that the fire department budget was far behind and did not exceed what LAPD was offered, right? So why does that happen? And I'll tell you one fucking good reason why.
So you've exhausted your
Smoking
limit on this
scheme,
item. You can
that's
continue
why.
during general if you'd like.
I know that, asshole, so why do you interrupt me? I know what I'm doing. I've been doing
General
this for
public
20
comment?
fucking years. 20 motherfucking years, Grote. And in your fucked up country of Korea, they don't want me to speak English. They do not want me to speak English. But let me remind you about Brandenburg versus Ohio in reference to a dirty nigger. This city, Brandenburg versus Ohio, this dirty fucking city of corruption is what I'm talking about. And how many times have you disregarded the homeless problem? That's another crisis. Another motherfucking crisis created by the Jews who should go back to Israel and save America. Yeah, that's the real issue. What about Snyder versus Phelps? Goddamn bitches. The Pope raped boys. Priests go to hell. That's a fact. God hates you, and you're all a bunch of fucking liars. And that's the reason why I can come up here and say you're a bunch of dirty niggers, for the record. Thank you, Grote.
All right. So before the next speaker comes up, just want to make an announcement to the room because we have a lot of new people here. First of all, I appreciate everyone's patience. Mr. Herman is not a cosplayer who normally frequents Hollywood Boulevard. He is a frequent gadfly here. The First Amendment requires us to allow people to speak during public comment. That does not mean that this body or this city condones those comments, appreciates those comments, or agrees with those comments. Mr. Herman and his friends like to offend as many people as possible and often try to get a rile out of people here. So again, appreciate your patience. Please do your best to ignore it, and we will move along expeditiously with this meeting. Thank you.
Part of
Good
the
morning.
plan.
Which items would you like to speak to?
With respect, Mr. President, if I could speak first for the firefighters, and then Dave Riles will follow. Thank you. I'm here to speak on all agenda items, including item number 30, and also provide general public comment.
Okay, so you'll have 3 minutes for the items
Of course
and 1
they
minute for
change it.
general. You're welcome to speak to item 30 first if you'd like, but just to enforce the rules equitably and equally, we would like to make sure that you speak to the items first. So my recommendation would be if you'd like to continue with 30 and then continue through your general public comment.
we're
would be
wasting
to speak
time.
to the other items for your first 2 minutes and then
Someone's
switch to 30 for
1
your
minute
last
is now
minute,
gone that somebody
and then
couldn't spoke.
we'll continue through general. Go ahead.
Good morning, my name is Chung Ho, and I proudly serve as a director with United Firefighters of Los Angeles City, Local 112. And today, I'm here to ask all of you to give Chief Crowley a fair shot. Listen to her with an open mind, and then make the right decision.
I'm good. I heard her already.
The men and women of our great fire department supports Chief Crowley because she stood up, she spoke out, and she had our backs. I have never seen a fire chief in my career consistently speak out about the constant understaffing and lack of funding
She did
for
do
our
that.
fire
I'll
department.
give her that.
Today, you're going to hear from my UFLAT colleagues who will tell you why the mayor's stated reasons for dismissing Chief Crowley are simply false. The mayor has said the chief was being terminated for 3 reasons. Number 1, not keeping 1,000 firefighters on duty past their shift on the morning of January 7th. Number 2, not communicating with the mayor about the dangerous wind conditions.
I don't know, Randy.
And number 3, not agreeing to an after-action report from the LAFD Fire Commission. Each of these manufactured reasons are simply inaccurate. The truth is, there was nowhere to put 1,000 firefighters that morning. Second, the entire country knew about the dangerous weather conditions. Finally, there is a comprehensive, independent after-action report happening right now. The reality is, Chief Crowley was fired for telling the truth and for exposing the budgetary deficiencies of our fire department. Thank you.
And who makes your budget, sir? Who makes the budget for you guys? I'd like to know that. Who does? Because I know. I just want to know if you know.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
I'd like to speak on all items, specifically agenda item 30 and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items, but again, that's 1 minute per item, so 1 minute max for 30 and 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Understood. Hi, my name is David Fabella. I'm a director with the United Firefighters of Los Angeles City. But foremost, and more importantly, I'm a 31-year veteran of the LAFD. I serve as a Captain 2 at Fire Station 27 in the Hollywood area, which lies in Soto Martinez's council district. I'd like to straight up debunk the claim that 1,000 firefighters could have been held over the morning that the fires broke out. This is a false statement. Let me set the record straight. First, there were not 1,000 firefighters, and I repeat, there were not 1,000 firefighters or seats for them to put them in. Our firefighters would have been held over, waiting at fire stations because there was nowhere for them to be placed. There were just not enough seats.
They
We had
camped
more
at the Rose
firefighters
Bowl.
calling in and waiting to work that day or the following days and nowhere to put them. On any given day, we have approximately a combined 100 apparatus, which includes engines, trucks, rescue ambulances that sit idle, out of service at our 2 maintenance yards.
Could have met him at Pierce College.
There aren't enough mechanics to fix these.
Easily fit 1,000 in
Mechanics
there.
that were
Easy.
cut in Mayor Bass's budget directly impacted the ability for fire apparatus to be repaired and placed back into service. The LAFD fleet was impacted because civilian staff positions were cut. As for the mayor's claim that 1,000 firefighters could have been placed or used, it's just not true. At the most, 120 firefighters could have been placed on our 200 series apparatus. But the math doesn't add up. 120 nowhere is 1,000 firefighter positions. I hope you hear the facts today.
Bass player, thank you.
Speaker,
By my
that
colleagues.
exhausts, Speaker, that exhausts your time on item 30 and general public comment. So if you'd like to speak to the other items, you can.
Or just general comment, please.
So you've already exhausted
Okay.
your 1 minute for general public
I'll
comment.
speak on item 30.
You've already exhausted your 1 minute on item 30. So that was you just spoke for 2 minutes on those 2 items.
I hope you'll give firefighter Crowley the opportunity to lead the LAFD. Thank you.
And members of the public, just to clarify, the reason why we have to cut people off at that time and enforce the rules equally is because if we gave that gentleman more time, we'd also have to do so for the previous speaker, who was dressed up like Batman. So again, if you would like to speak to item 30 in general public comment,
That
please
was
let us
Batman.
know.
He's
But
not
if you
dressed
mention
up like.
all items,
That
you will
is.
have to use 2 of those 3 minutes for the actual items, the other items.
That's
So,
the real
good morning.
Batman,
Which items would
bro.
you like to speak to?
Good morning. I'll speak to item 30 and general comments.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Good morning, Dave Riles, Director, United Firefighters of Los
Yeah,
Angeles.
no
City.
clapping.
I'm
Exactly.
a proud 32-year veteran of the LAFD. Currently assigned to Fire Station 107 out in Chatsworth, which is Councilmember Lee's district. I was raised in the Valley, where I currently reside, in the San Fernando Valley. And in our neck of the woods, we're not unaccustomed to high winds and wildland fires. Like a majority of the Los Angeles residents, I too struggle with the idea or the reality that Mayor Bass was unable to anticipate the horrendous windstorms that were coming that day. In fact, the mayor herself posted the following on her social media account. There is an expected destructive and potentially life-threatening windstorm starting today, Tuesday, January 7th. It's just inexplicable for the mayor of Los Angeles to say that she didn't know about the dangerous windstorms that day that were impending. With all the forecasts all over the country, everybody knew about it. The mayor's own failure to be informed should not lead to the dismissal of the fire chief. As mayor of the city of Los Angeles, the residents expect her to be the one in command. She should have been checking in with all of her department heads to find out exactly what their needs would be for the impending weather event, to make sure that everybody was covered. That's what a proactive mayor would do. Being the mayor of the second largest city in America is a huge responsibility. Shifting the blame to those who are the boots on the ground, they're doing their part to help you fix everything in town.
Speaker, that your time has expired.
Well, I think a lot of the firefighters think that they're being attacked, and it shouldn't be that way. We're talking about the chief. We're talking about the chief that pushed
Before the
diversity,
next
equity, and
speaker speaks, I'd like
inclusion
to call up
every
more
2
names.
minutes. But way before,
Eric
we're
Aguirre,
talking a year before this
Olympia
fucking
Blanco,
fire. On
Squire
top of the
McCoy,
fire. The fire was the reason for
Miguel
firing.
Dominguez, Angelica Acosta.
That's the
Which
difference.
items would you like to speak to?
I'm here to speak on all items and general public comment.
So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
My name's Ken Koffler, and I serve as Secretary with the United Firefighters of Los Angeles City. I'm a proud 24-year veteran of the LAFD, where I work as a Captain 2 at Fire Station 66 in South Central LA, in Council President Harris Dawson's district. The mayor stated she dismissed Chief Crowley for refusing to conduct an after-action report on the Palisades fire. This is absolutely false. After-action reports are a routine part of our job, and it's ridiculous to think that a historic fire of this magnitude wouldn't require a top-to-bottom review. The Fire Commission doesn't have the expertise, capability, or authority under the city charter to conduct an investigation of this scope. Also, a fire department shouldn't investigate itself, especially from a commission that is made up of mayoral appointees. This is why an independent third party needs to be the lead. And I can tell you that an independent after-action report from the state is already underway. I know this because I am part of the analysis as a UFLAC representative. As my colleagues have said, the reasons given for Chief Crowley's dismissal are false and flat out wrong. And I urge you to reinstate her today.
Good morning. Which items would you like
Good
to
morning.
speak to?
All items and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Dodger
Pat McOsker, proud local 112 member. And the first thing I want to say to all of you guys is I know how much you deeply care about public safety, how much you do to ensure public safety in your communities. I want to urge you today to make your decision about Chief Crowley based only on public safety, not on politics, not on relationships, not on alliances, only on what's best for your citizens. I have a certain perspective on fire chiefs and their effect on public safety. I served a long time ago as a president of Local 112, and I served with 2 mayors and 4 fire chiefs. And you wonder why there was 4? Well, the second mayor, the reason is the second mayor didn't have the same appreciation for the work of, the life-saving work of firefighters and paramedics that we would have liked. And then we had a great budget crisis back then. We had the Great Recession, huge impact on the city budget. And unfortunately, that mayor decided that the biggest cuts, the deepest cuts, were going to be to the fire department back then. We ended up losing 317 positions, ambulances and fire trucks. We had delayed responses. People suffered and people died because of those cuts. How did they happen? That mayor hired 3 successive fire chiefs that each lasted about 1 year. They lasted long enough to get up here before your predecessors in this horseshoe and tell them that those deep budget cuts, they wanted them. It was their plan. We were going to be more efficient somehow and more effective with fewer firefighters and longer response times. They sold them to you because they were yes men. And then they walked out the door as fast as they could with their big pay raise and their big pension for being the fire chief who sold budget cuts. That's the effect that a fire chief has on public safety. We had yes men back then. Right now, we've got a courageous woman serving as the fire chief in Los Angeles.
Smoke.
And because
yeah,
you
I
all
do,
care
Rob.
about public safety and doing what's right for your citizens, you should make sure to retain
Speaker,
her.
you've exhausted
You want
your
someone to
time on
speak
the
truth
item
to
and on
power.
general
You want
public
someone
comment.
to tell you what your
So
fire
please move
department
on.
needs.
Speaker, please move on to another item. You've exhausted your 2 minutes on general public comment on the item.
I want to ask you all again, just do the right thing. Focus on public safety. If you're focused on public safety,
Okay.
you will
So,
retain
Speaker,
this fire chief.
You're
Thank
going
you
to
for your
forfeit the rest
time.
of your time. We're going to have to move on to the next speaker. Thank you.
So what you're telling me, we should get rid of the horseshoe. Is that what you're saying? Because they control the budget?
There's 318 positions to be exact.
Somebody was
Tony
talking about
Escobar,
that just a
youth
few
black president,
firefighters
I'm here to
ago.
speak on all items.
Who was
of
that
public
smart
comment,
man?
sir.
Okay, so just to reiterate, and again, because we have a lot of people here, so if you request all items, but you only want to speak to item number 30
Always
in
somebody
general,
else's fault.
you only get 2 minutes for those items, and that's out of fairness to everyone here. So again, I'm going to cut in at about once you've used 2 minutes to ask you to move on to another item. It's not because we don't want to hear from you. It's just because we have to enforce the rules equally. So
Roger, and understand.
3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
All right. I'm here today with my brothers and sisters of the LAFD to say what needs to be said. Fire Chief Crowley is being fired for telling the truth. Let me repeat myself. Fire Chief Crowley is being terminated and fired for telling the truth. For decades now,
That is partly it.
UFLAC has been saying we're an understaffed, under-budget fire department. We have half the firefighters we need to protect this city of Los Angeles. Chief Crowley had the guts and the courage to speak out to make sure her troops on the ground have what they need to do their jobs. For the first time,
No clapping.
the public and this city council started paying attention. But her honesty cost her job. Today, I'm asking this council to allow Chief Crowley to speak. Give her a chance to set the record straight. Because what's happening right now is simply not right, and everybody knows it that's in here. I know each one of you. You all tell us how much you support your firefighters, how much you love labor. Hugo Soto Martinez, you're the biggest champion for labor. That's what you've said publicly. Well, labor is with Chief Crowley on this. She is the first fire chief to speak up on behalf of the men and women to say what has been said for decades. The LAFD cannot continue and sustain what's asked of us. We are understaffed, under-budgeted, and we cannot do more with less. Enough is enough. Everybody is watching, and we're asking you to do the right thing, stand with labor. Labor is with management on this. Chief Crowley is being terminated for telling the truth. In my 35 years on the job, not one fire chief has represented the men and women like she has that day. And we thank her for her courage, and for firing her for telling the truth is simply wrong. Thank you very much for your time.
Do you guys think since the news is there, they're going to put Herman on? Yes or no in the chat room? I mean, this is going to be a big story.
Before the next speaker speaks, I'd like to call up a few more names. Ciris Barrios, Darian Harris, Glavis Diego, Natasha Muse, Aaron Akron,
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 30. Good morning, Council. My name is Daniel Henriksen.
See the news camera in the back? There's one.
This is the 71st year since I became a resident of Los Angeles.
There's two. No?
I wanted to acknowledge all the firefighters here. As the son of two union organizers, it's good to see union members standing up for what they believe in. And I also want to acknowledge all the firefighters here standing
Doubtful.
up for justice in hiring. That's just as important. We're a big city. We need to find a way to support all of us.
3-inch already spoke. He was the first speaker.
Many beautiful parts of our city. We've also got big problems. Some of them are some really ugly problems. And we elected you to work on the biggest and ugliest problems we have. You voted for the budget for the fire department after very careful decisions.
I don't know about Chad Bianco, man.
I want you to focus on city council work and not try to second guess the mayor. Tough times require tough leadership. Let's do your job. Let's let her do hers.
3-inch
Thank
Shrimp
you.
signed up as Gloria Molina, which was an old councilwoman, and Chad Bianco, he talks a tough game, and I think he's all right. But if you do remember, he was knee bending When all the fucking BLM shit came out, he took the knee for all of them. Look it up.
I only need a minute.
Okay, go ahead, you have 1 minute.
So be careful
Good
with that pick.
City Council members, my name is Gerard Wright with the Greater Los Angeles Realtors. Just speaking on some of the conversation around item 13, even though it is a receive and file, one of the biggest reasons why there was a lot of hemming and hawing through the last couple of weeks was trying to figure out how to find resources for the housing providers if there's going to be an eviction moratorium. That is exactly what the LA County was able to do, what they were able to provide, and that's why it got passed. I know there was a lot of back and forth here. We were part of those conversations for a long, long time, but a big part of it was, where's the money going to come from? Was it going to be ULA? Oh, we can't find it from ULA because it's broke. It can't do it for this particular piece. Can we do it from this pot? No, couldn't do it from this pot. That's a big reason why the conversations took place. And we're helpful and we're thankful that the county was able to figure that part out for both housing providers and tenants. Is it a perfect idea? No, it's not. But at least the core conversation that many of you all were grappling with was where are those resources going to come from? Thank you so very much for your time and attention.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
I would like to speak on item 30 and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, Council President and esteemed Council. My name is Eric Aguiar, and I'm with Brotherhood Crusade, and I'm here to support Mayor Bass in her decision. Mayor Bass made the right decision to remove the fire chief. Leadership changes are necessary when performance doesn't meet the high standard required for public safety. The decision to remove the fire chief was about experience and accountability, not politics. Emergency response leadership requires proven experience, and in this case, the missteps during the Palisades fire showed an experience. The mayor has the authority and responsibility to make leadership changes, ensuring public safety is her top priority. This includes making tough but necessary decisions. This is about public trust and restoring confidence in emergency. People need to know their leaders will act decisively in a crisis, and this move reflects that commitment. Communication during this crisis was insufficient. Continue. The acting mayor was not directly briefed, which is a standard procedure during an unfortunate event like we experienced. Pre-deployment failures put lives and property at risk. Proper preparation is key in disaster response, and leadership must be held accountable when it doesn't happen. Forecast extreme winds made aerial assault impossible.
Look at them paying attention.
Leadership should have anticipated this and made sure additional resources were available. Effective leadership challenges and adjust. The city must move forward with strong experienced leadership in the fire department.
It's disrespectful.
Now is the time to focus on solutions, including rebuilding and preparing for future emergencies. The decision reinforces the city's commitment to public safety. The focus should remain on improving systems, innovating new ways to address
She's eating and putting her mask on. She's not paying attention. He's not paying attention. She's drinking. Maybe he's paying attention. Maybe.
Thank you.
Maybe. Okay? These are the people that vote for them.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
I see Stacy in line.
Item 30 in general.
Okay, and feel free to adjust the mic if you need to.
Look at her. She's just sitting there looking at her phone. They're the one that got the free hire.
Good morning, Council President and Council members. I'm here in support of the mayor's actions to move our city forward. I'm disgusted by the outright and coordinated attacks on our mayor, attacks that are rooted in anti-blackness and that are ultimately a distraction and another intent to keep those closest to the issue on the margins and instead centered on the billionaires that benefit from this conflict. These attacks do nothing but take away the focus that should be on helping to support the majority black residents that lost their homes in Altadena and on supporting the rest of the city that was indirectly impacted by the climate catastrophe. The misdirected attacks on Mayor Bass for her actions are rooted are rooted in hate and propaganda, and it does nothing to address the root causes of this climate catastrophe. Ultimately, we do need to talk about real accountability, which looks like stopping billionaires and corporations who created this climate crisis from continuing to pillage our environment for profit. Accountability looks like not allowing Southern California Edison to raise prices and passing along costs to residents to pay for the greedy actions that directly directly sparked the fires. I believe in the strength of the city and in our ability to build strong connections among communities. And I believe in Mayor Bass, who stepped up for South LA, who stepped up for California, and who is now stepping up for our city. We need all of you to step up too and move past it so we can put our focus back on supporting those residents impacted by the climate catastrophe. Thank you.
Yes, Robert, she is. She is. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, you're going to have some super simps coming in.
Good morning. I'm here to speak on item 30 in general public comment. Good morning. Okay, you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment.
My name is Glauce Diego. I'm a lifelong resident of South Los Angeles. I'm standing here in support of Mayor Bass.
Who knows
It's clear that
smoking?
there has been a coordinated attack to
Billions.
undermine Mayor Bass's leadership.
I bet.
Trump has created
Billions.
a narrative of DEI hires that billionaires like Rick Caruso have backed and are taking advantage of at this moment. These are the same billionaires that have prevented more funding to go to public departments, like the fire department, when they spend millions on oppositions like schools and communities first and rent control.
Thanks, bass player.
Let's be clear. Chief Crowley went on national television and focused on division, when
Yeah,
she
the
should have been
gondola.
focused on the fires. For this is the time for us to center unity. A lot of people are still suffering from the fires, and the city should be hyper-focused on recovery and not distractions like these. We must respect the leadership of the mayor, and I urge the city council to support her.
What recovery? 6 weeks in, we've got not a shovel fucking picked up nothing. What recovery are we talking about? How long does it take? I could have went in there yesterday and did it all 2 days with a crew.
Good morning. I want to speak to agenda item 30 and also
We don't want to talk about that.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Sequaria McCoy, and I am a proud supporter of our current mayor, Karen Bass. It is my opinion to uphold the correct decision made by our current mayor, Karen Bass. She's made various decisions in the past, and let's continue to support her in her decision making. We can go back and forth about character, about how good a person is, how they make us feel. That's wonderful. The point is that a correct decision was not made. That's the bottom line. We need to support our mayor and her executive decisions, along with supporting and not usurping and diluting the power of decision makers. Thank you.
Bro, now that's a simp. That there is a simp.
Before the next speaker speaks,
Typical
I'd like to call
Democrat
out more
voter.
names. Kathleen Hernandez, William Smart, Kent Koffler, Karina Crump, Irma Arellans.
And smoke and scan.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 30 and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and then 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Olympia and I am a resident of the city of Los Angeles. We ask that during this time of continued uncertainty and recovery for the city of Los Angeles, the council focuses on preserving the unity of residents and leadership that shone through when our community mobilized to support those who had lost everything. Mayor Bass has been made to be the scapegoat of a natural disaster that devastated the historically black neighborhood of Altadena and its residents, who were deprioritized when Chief Crowley chose to focus on political division. We ask that you resist the national persecution of black women in power, honor her executive authority as an elected leader, and prioritize your most vulnerable constituents. Thank you.
It was the whiteness within Mayor Bass, who's black, that burnt the city of Altadena down. Let's just
Good
put that out
morning.
there.
General comment, item 30.
Good
morning. My name is Cidis Barrios. My family have been proud residents of Council District 15 for 40 years. We have lived on the same block for generations, investing, fighting for our community. I'm a property owner and a business owner in that district. I stand here today to remind the City Council that Mayor Karen Bass was elected by Angelinos like my family. and I to be the highest ranking decision maker for the city. Yet this hearing is an obvious attempt
Brock.
to undermine her leadership. Let's call it what it is. It's an attack on her authority, her decision making. Let's not ignore the obvious. Her as a black woman in power. Would we even be here today if we had a male mayor? That's the question we should be asking. We cannot allow these attacks on black women leadership to play out in our city. Not here, not now. In this historic moment, our communities are suffering on multiple fronts. The city should be laser focused on recovery and not distractions like this. We need to stand together, not tear each other down. Our city moves forward when we focus on real solutions, not political theater. I am with and represent the voices of voters that elected Mayor Bass. I urge this council to do the right thing. Stand with the mayor, stand with the people, and put our community first. Thank you.
You're fired.
Right, bass player?
Good morning.
I mean, this shit is
Good
just...
morning. My name is
You
Dan
see the
Harris. I
victimhood?
speak to Item number 30.
You see how they spin everything?
You have 1 minute for the
Poor
item,
little
1 minute for
victims.
general. Go ahead and begin.
Thank you. Good morning, council members. My name is Darren Harris, and we represent St. John's Community Health.
ISIS watch.
And we just want to thank the firefighters for fighting the fires who have impacted our community. We have staff members and supporters who have lost their homes, and like many others, are still displaced due to unsafe working conditions within their neighborhood. And due to their poor air quality, our patients are facing significant health challenges, especially with an increase in asthma and respiratory conditions. And we also know that many in our community, including service and domestic workers, have lost their livelihoods, making the fire's effects widespread. With that being said, tough times call for tough leadership. And St. John stands with Mayor Bass as we rebuild Los Angeles. She has been a fierce champion for community health, standing with us when cuts to the safety net were threatened, and she continues to advocate for those who need the help most. And while lawmakers in D.C. are threatening the safety net at the expense of the most vulnerable, while benefited billionaires, and we see some of that playing out within our city today,
General public comment.
we need a champion for the public here in Los Angeles. One we can stand with as it relates to continuing to keeping us safe, combating climate change, and prioritizing our health, especially as we face rising preventable health issues from the fires in the coming days, weeks, months, and years to come. The mayor's decision reinforces the city's commitment to public safety. While political posture might dominate the LA Times, the city needs strong, experienced leadership in every department, which includes fire. And as we recover from January's crisis, now is the time to focus on solutions, rebuilding, and preparing for future emergencies. We must emphasize the importance of rebuilding, supporting those who have suffered losses, protecting our most vulnerable citizens, and fostering healing. It's time to prioritize our community's needs. Thank you.
You know, that's the problem with the DEI hire. Stacy Seguer-Bollinger, guys. I want the song title and the artist.
Would you like to speak to?
All items and general public comment, please.
Okay. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Thank you. So item 17 is an extension of the emergency declaration relating to housing and homelessness. I find it interesting that we have this item on the same agenda as we do item 27, which is installation of a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Nothing against Christina Ricci. I just find it odd for the council in one breath to say we are in an active emergency, and in the next say, let's decorate our city with stars. Not even to mention Hollywood Boulevard. It's a pretty big mess. There's unhoused residents sleeping. It's covered in piss and shit. The last thing you do when your house is crumbling down or on fire, start decorating with stars. Maybe these are some things we could put on the back burner while we deal with actual emergencies. There's another motion here regarding some $40,000 to give to a company known as Indigov Corporation to assist CD1 in policy and outreach efforts. With respect to Ulysses and to Hugo, who seconded her motion, why did the people elect you if you're going to outsource policy? What is your office spending money on? What's your office spending money on if you're going to outsource the outreach that you hire staff and have discretionary funding to use? I also have a lot of concerns when I see these motions about outsourcing things that you should be handling internally, and who works for those companies, who serves on those boards, because we know that there's a lot of insider dealing among this body, and it's really unfortunate. We also have a motion to light up City Hall in special recognition of the 35th anniversary of LA Best, which is a great organization. I support it, but $1,400 for unspecified recognition and some lights to go up on City Hall seems like a lot when, again, we're under active emergencies. So regarding item 30, I disagree with a lot of remarks here regarding motivations behind why some of us, like myself, who actually voted for Mayor Bass, would be against her removing the fire chief. This is a rare instance where I want to applaud Council Members Park and Rodriguez for standing up for the fire chief. You know, it's rare that I agree with y'all. But I think you're both doing the right thing in standing behind the fire chief. I think it's obvious, based on how things played out, that this is nothing more than a political grab by the mayor. She's already started fundraising for her next campaign. And a lot of the people on this body are really afraid to get on the mayor's bad side. But I think you should have a little more courage than that. Do right by the people. Stand up for the fire chief. She was doing everything she could with the limited resources she had, considering the budget that you all approved. General public comment? While the mayor was far away, Los Angeles had a windy day that started a roaring blaze. It devoured people's homes. When the mayor came back to town, she decided to pass the blame around. She said, "Crowley, you're fired now. The mayor couldn't be more wrong. The people say, Crowley, you're a fine chief. We know you did all you could. I don't know if the council supports you,
Looking glass,
but
Brandy.
they should."
I didn't even know. You win, Cub. You win. Cubby's the winner
Before
today.
the next speaker speaks, I'll call up more names. Lori Condenas, Natasha Moyes, Chuong Ho, Klaus Diego, Alexa Hernandez, Regina Crendel.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Hi, I'd like to speak to item 30 and general comment.
I don't think signed up.
1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Go ahead and begin.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Hernandez. I am not a resident of LA City, but I used to be. I live in Topanga Canyon. I'm a firefighter family. I'm a mom and a grandmother. And I want to talk a little bit about some other stuff that was going on during this day that the fire hit the Palisades. I live near the boulevard in Topanga. I saw high response from LA County and LAFD through the Canyon Road, Highway 27. I saw aerial operations going on. But I want to remind you that there was some other stuff going on half an hour earlier than that. There were 2 fires out in Hollywood that LAFD was responding to as well, and they got those 2 out. So there was a lot going on. I also want to speak about my daughter, who is an LAFD firefighter and a paramedic. She works at one of the busiest stations in the nation, 60s, out in North Hollywood. She is forced hired, as many of these firefighters are as well, and do 72-hour shifts. They do their damnedest, and Chief Crowley has been there. She is a gem. She has brought unity. Somebody just spoke about unity here and bringing the city together. Well, Chief Crowley is that kind of management individual. She has that power to do that. What I see is a scapegoat that unfortunately, Mayor Bass has decided to pin everything on her. Come together, talk it out, figure out how we can become a fire-wise community, the county and the city. That's what we're trying to do up where I live. Thank you.
Good morning. And before you begin, so as soon as you finish your public comment, actually, please exit to the right-hand side of the council chambers. It helps us sort of rotate people through more quickly. Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Any time that we say from that, you just killed
public comment.
by telling us.
1 minute for each. Go ahead.
My name is Pastor William D. Smart, Jr. I am President and CEO of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference of Southern California, which, as you know, is Dr. Martin Luther King's organization.
Oh, so you're a Republican.
Last Thursday, we hosted, along with the NAACP, National Action Network, organization, us, and BCCLA, Black Clergy Community Labor Alliance. We had a town hall meeting with the Centurions. They are the black firefighters. During that time, I heard some of the most disgusting things I'd ever heard, the way that blacks were being treated in the fire department. It was very hurtful at times. The most racist comments, demotions of positions taking place, lack of enforcement and protections of African American firefighters. And some of us were in tears, and it was virtual. People were writing in, talking about what was going on. You know, I would have said, yes, it's happening. But evidence of that is this morning. When we got in this, the firefighters, the Centurions were at the back. When we got in, all the other firefighters are in here. There's a division going on in this city. We have some difficult days ahead as a community. Are we going to stand up and face it like we ought to as human beings, or are we going to be dictated from Washington, D.C. and other places of what we should be doing as a community? What the mayor did, the mayor had the right to do. The mayor is the mayor. I respect, I love, and I trust her with my and my family's lives. But let me tell you, we as a body of people, and even all of us sitting in here, we have to make a decision. Are we going to live together, or are we going to fight apart? Are we going to be separated? It's time for all of us to stand up and move forward together.
Thank you, Pastor. I appreciate your anecdotes.
The wrath of God will strike you down.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 30 in general public comment.
So you have one for each. Go ahead.
Good morning, President Huntley Hayes and other city council members. My name is Andrew Cox, and I was unfairly terminated during my probationary period. And I would like to highlight some of the things that happened during my probationary period with the LAFD. One, daily I would receive verbal and mental abuse, called a fucking idiot, told I had mental disorders, mental disabilities, said that I had CTE. And while doing fire prevention, I was told that am I too hood to speak professionally, because he knows plenty of blacks that can speak professionally. Not only that, I was given go drills at 3 a.m., 11:30 p.m. and sick in the rain. I was forced to be transported to the hospital after not being allowed to drink water. Just continuous beratings, telling me that I'm not good enough, that I don't deserve the job. And many times during one of my captain's daily rants that last 20 to 30 minutes, he expressed anger at the department for hiring me. I believe this was because of my background in my ethnic area where I grew up, and I have also formally rescinded and appealed this to Fire Chief Kristen Crowley. Thank you.
Sounds like boot camp to me.
Good morning.
I don't know any academy or boot camp that you go through that they don't tear you down before pick you back up. They want you to think the way they want you to think.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Natasha Moyes, and I live in downtown LA.
Ask anybody in the military.
Karen Bass.
Or
and
cops.
I stand here today in strong support of Mayor Bass and the importance of black leadership. Black women in leadership deserve equal respect, recognition, and trust as any other leader should.
Stress
Our
test,
decisions should not be second-guessed, questioned, and we have earned our place at the table through hard work and dedication. With Mayor Bass at the helm, we have a leader that truly understands the challenges of our communities, and we have seen that as she's tackled the largest issue that's one of the largest issues our city has seen, which was unhoused, and now this natural disaster. We can move forward together and we build our great city in a way that is equitable and inclusive, but only if she is our leader and allowed to make the decisions that need to be made on a daily basis without question. Thank you for your time.
Equitable and inclusive. All right.
Smoke.
Listen to the buzzwords. Pay attention.
Hello.
Problem with the DEI hire is they don't deserve the job in the first place, and then when you fire them for the incompetence, then it's racism. So you're fucked either way.
So you have 1 minute for each. Go ahead.
Thank
pick
you
the
so
best.
much. Good morning. My name is Karina Crump. I live in Hollywood near Runyon Canyon. I was as an evacuee of the LA fires. I too support Mayor Bass and her decisions. Women in leadership deserve the same respect, recognition, and trust as any other leader. With her leadership, we move forward in a way that is equitable, inclusive, and focused on real solutions for those most impacted. Black women show up, they lead, and they deliver. Mayor Bass made the right decision to remove the fire chief. Leadership changes are necessary when performance doesn't meet the high standards required for public safety. The decision to remove the fire chief was about experience and accountability, not politics. Emergency response leadership requires proven expertise, and in this case, missteps during the Palisades fire showed their inexperience. The mayor has the authority and responsibility to make leadership changes. Thank you.
Okay, so now she's a fire victim in Hollywood and an evacuee. That fire was less than a few hours.
I would like to call up
We watched it live.
Names. Pat McCosker.
Okay?
Hector Sanchez.
Google how much
Miguel Domingo.
got burnt. Maybe an acre.
Aura
1
Vasquez.
acre. She was gone out of her house for 3 hours? The fuck out of here. Victim Olympics.
Which items would you like to speak to?
General, please.
So you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Girl, you don't live in Altadena. You don't live in the Palisades. They had the fires.
Solidarity with Mayor Karen Bass, a leader who understands the urgency of rebuilding communities and also in the wake of a devastating fire. We also know that Mayor Bass made the right decision to remove the chief. Leadership changes are necessary when performance doesn't meet the high standards required for public safety. Thank you.
Telling you, Victim Olympics this year. Who could be the biggest victim?
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 30, general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for each.
Good morning, council. I am from AFSCME District Council 36. We stand with the mayor. We are here. We represent, give or take, about 12,000 great city employees who all stand with this mayor, and we are encouraging the council to stand with her as well. Thank you.
Well, the fire chief's here. She should be talking after this. Oh, Spindler's coming up. Viewer discretion is advised. He'll be next.
General public comment.
So you have 1 minute.
Look at him.
Yes, my name is Benjamin Torres. I'm the president and CEO of CD Tech. We're a community-based
He's right there.
organization in South Central Los Angeles who's been fighting for many years along with the mayor and the progressive movement of organizations that have been organized to try and bring equity and justice to the city of Los Angeles for black and brown folks, for historically marginalized people. And through that movement and through that awareness, we were able to elect Mayor Karen Bass to represent and lead the charge to try and make the city an equitable city for all of us to live in, for our children, regardless of class, regardless of race, regardless of gender. This is a political move to try and cut off black leadership, black female leadership in the city. We in South Los Angeles support Mayor Bass and the effort she has had to try and bring equity and attention and investment to the parts of the city that have historically been marginalized and excluded. This is an attempt to block her leadership. This would not be done if she was a white male of privilege in the mayor position. Thank you.
I'd like to call a few more names. Tanya Krabbe, Michelle Vargas, Andrew Grabner.
Oh, under over 7.
Good morning.
Viewer discretion is advised.
1 minute for general. Please
That's
begin
right.
with the
In the
items.
interest of comity, I will take 1 minute for item 30 in general. So I give some other folks the extra 2 minutes. Just give me a hand for that. So now, what do you got here?
Okay, hold on. I appreciate that. I actually genuinely do. So start his clock for 1 minute. That's
Yeah.
item 30, and then we'll give you your minute
See,
for general.
now, I mentally tricked
go
you
ahead.
and you gave me 49 more seconds. So you see, we got a scapegoat today. That's right. And today's scapegoat is our LBGTQ chief of fire. Why's Marquise taking out a lesbian? A white lesbian? What is this racist bullshit about? I thought you wanted diversity, fool. How about you over there, Padilla? Just accepted a goddamn promotion by Bass to the Metro Board. Who buying your vote? And then over here, look at this staffer B. John Lee. What the FBI tell you to vote for? So you see, people, the entire fire is the blame of Tracy Irene Parker, CD11. She didn't fix the trucks in the boneyard, and she didn't fill up the reservoir. She's the demon here. So 1 minute of general comment. Now, it takes 10 of you FBI investigated target scumbags to overturn this ridiculous retaliatory decision to take a federally protected whistleblower, Hugo. You know about that. She's a federally protected whistleblower, and you're going to fire her? Because that means if you vote to uphold that and later she comes back, that could get you indicted along with the mayor. And you don't want that. First, we want the investigation. Why did Tracy Park not fill up the reservoir? Why didn't Tracy Park repair the 111 trucks in the fucking boneyard? Why did Hugo Soto Martinez cut the budget, fire all of our mechanics so we can't fix our trucks? Support Crowley, keep her as chief. She's a good woman.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 30 in public comment.
Okay, so you have 1
Remember,
minute for each. Go ahead.
under over 7.
First of all, thank you to all here today. Thank you to all the firefighters that have been on the front line. I stand with you and thank you. However, I also stand with our mayor, Karen Bass, and her leadership. We can do both. We can support our firefighters and our mayor's leadership. What we can't do is let Crowley's ego divide this city. What I don't support is allowing Crowley's personal agenda to undermine the mayor's executive authority to lead this city. What I don't support is supporting leadership that has allowed for anti-black racism in the fire department, as we've heard from some of the comments earlier. I stand by our mayor, and so should all of you, council. Thank you.
Guys, 2 o'clock today, KFI AM 640, John Cobilt Show. We'll listen to danielgus.substack.com. Daniel Gus is going to go off about what's going on here today.
Would you like to speak to?
Good morning. 2 o'clock p.m.
So you have 1
Pacific
minute for the
time.
item, and was that just the item? or the
KFI
item in
640.
Just the item.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay, first and foremost, I would like to thank our fire department, but I stand with Mayor Karen Bass. When someone in a position of power refuses to do their job, action must be taken. 1,000 firefighters who should have been on duty were sent home while fires raged across the city. A crucial after action report was requested, and the ex-LA fire chief flat out refused. That's not leadership, that's negligence. Thank you.
Oh, John and Ken show, yeah.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
I'm going to speak on all items. Hello.
Okay, go ahead. You have 3 minutes for the
I haven't
items.
seen him in a while.
Okay, Hernandez, I oppose your motion in regards to the $330,000 that you want transferred. I also oppose your request on the self-help. Hernandez, I'm talking to you. We got 95 senior citizens that got displaced with the fire over there. I'd rather have you take the $330,000 and do something about those senior citizens and get them a house again. Yeah, you came to our park and visited. I live in Chinatown. I also want you to get rid of the homeless people that is over there at CVS robbing it every day. They burn the building to the left, they burn the house across the street, and the house to the right, and the 2 cars 50 feet from my house. You get rid of the homeless encampment, or I'm going to go burn their encampment. Other topic I want to speak on real quick here.
Just committed a... Bro, I love you, but slow down, bro. I love you because you passionate.
Hernandez, you also talked about rent relief. I manage a building in Chinatown.
Speaker, which item are you speaking to?
Excuse me?
Which item are you speaking to?
It had to deal with a comment when Hernandez was pitching a motion in regards to possible rent relief.
So
and
that's
going
not
to
open for public comment. So I'm going to...
Okay, then we'll take it into general.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
So the city had a landlord rent relief program, so did the county. I entered my property into that a year ago. We could not evict the tenant. The tenant was already $20,000 behind. Then we entered into the new landlord program, in which we did that last February. I just got a letter on February 10th stating that they're out of money. I'm now $44,000 in debt. Now, meat and potatoes. Chief Crowley needs to stay exactly where she's at. Not where she's at, but where she needs to be, and that's back at her job. There's a lot of false information going around. The mayor said false information about 45 trucks being out there with 1,000 firefighters. A truck can only hold 4 people. There's 4 seats and 4 seat belts in that truck, period. I don't care if you put them all on there. You would have needed 205 trucks to put 1,000 firefighters.
Speaker, your time has expired.
Well, I tell you what, this lady needs to stay. Exactly, she needs her job back, period.
Yeah, that wasn't. Remember, under over 7. Hurry.
Mr. Kramer, before you begin, I'm not sure that I heard the last speaker correctly, but just to be clear, please do not go out and start fires in homeless camps or anywhere else.
All items and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
All right, starting off with item 17. Item 17 is renewing the local emergency regarding homelessness, the Inside Starving program, where the mayor sweeps encampments, forces unhoused people to move down the street to somewhere else to appease rich people, and then puts 3 of them in a cheap motel somewhere 30 miles away with no food or blankets. So that's what happens most of the time with this thing. And we have a homelessness emergency, but we don't have an eviction moratorium. Shouldn't that be the first thing that should happen when you have a homelessness emergency? You should have an eviction moratorium, because clearly there's a problem with homelessness, so why are we throwing more people on the street? It seems like that should be the first thing you should do, is have that eviction moratorium. Okay, so let's move on to item, let's see. So we have item 21, which is like expert policy services. Shouldn't you be making your own policies? So we have item 25, which is lighting up City Hall for LA Best. I mean, I think they do some pretty good work at LA Best, but lighting up City Hall, more money. Why does it cost so much to light up City Hall? Like, shouldn't that just be like a, just get, the technology exists to just have a computer system that just go select the color, and City Hall is lit up that color. What are you doing when you light up City Hall? Why does it cost that much? 27 is a Walk of Fame star. So, I mean, it's a nice little tourist attraction, but, it's more city resources going towards this right now, when we have a lot of other crises that we should be looking into right now. All right, so we have item 30, which is related to the appeal, Crowley's appeal for the fire chief. There's been a lot of falsehoods going around about what actually happened during this. So, like, Barquise, you talked about how Crowley wasn't getting back to you, but yet the records show that Crowley contacted you, and then you didn't get back to her until several hours later. So it sounds like she contacted you first, and you didn't bother to. You just sat on it all day, and didn't bother to respond. And it's very obvious that this is a kind of a political punishment because she criticized you taking money away to give it to the LAPD. But I do think we should. I do still think that you should take a look into the allegations of like racism going on in the LA Fire Department. That is something you should look at. But clearly, this firing Chief Crowley was a political punishment for her criticizing the mayor. So yeah. All right, for my general public comment, I want to ask why the LAPD was assisting Trump immigration officials in LA on last Friday, I think it was. And of course, McDonnell, who, as we all told you, repeatedly worked with ICE while he was sheriff, and you all ignored that. He claimed that they weren't assisting them. They were just providing traffic control, which is a form of assisting them. That is a form of assisting them. So it's apparently their policy they don't assist them, but then they don't call traffic control assisting them.
Oh, 11. The overs win.
Speaker, Stephanie Graves.
Okay, we're at.
Bro can't even breathe.
Speaker, we're
He's skinny as can be.
So
He's standing still, and he can't breathe. He's winded because of that fucking mask.
Speak on item 30, general comments.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for each. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Tanya Crabb. I'm a firefighter.
Democrat dummy.
Of the Los Angeles Fire Department. I'm also interim
Still waiting to
president of
flatten the
LAFD,
curve.
Lost Women in the Fire Service. My brothers and sisters are on the streets every day serving your communities. We all stand and support Christy Crowley. She has proven herself as a powerful leader for the LAFD, and we implore you to do the right thing and please reinstate our fire chief, Christy Crowley.
This is the longest general comment we've had in
good morning. I'm here
over a year.
In regards to item 30 and general comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for each. Go ahead.
But they had to do it because the news is back there.
My name
Make
is
no
Miguel
mistake
Guerrero,
about
and
it.
I am the president of Los Bomberos de Los Angeles. I am also a fire captain 1 over at Fire Station 20 in the community of Echo Park, which is CD 13. I'm here today to express our support for our fire chief.
Hi,
Crowley,
BJ.
and to urge you to support her appeal, to reinstatement as fire chief. Our rank and file firefighters support Chief Crowley because she is one of us.
Smoke.
She rose through the ranks, proved herself at every level, and earned her trust and respect. I am asking you today to do the right thing. Let Chief Crowley speak, let her hear her out, and give her a fair chance. I am proud to say that Los Bomberos stands with
sure,
Chief
Chris.
Crowley, and we hope that you do the same thing and hear her out today. Thank you for your time.
People have been attacked. For sure. That's why there's a lot
All
of
right, that
LAPD
concludes,
sitting here.
Public comment for this meeting. So folks in the audience, members of the council, normally we would go through our items, but given what's before us today, the weight of it and the particularity and peculiarity of it, I want to begin with item number 30. I want to begin our proceeding by hearing from the city attorney with regard to what the bounds of this
Get it,
hearing
Gro.
can be and what's before us to decide this morning. So, city attorney.
So if we could just have just 1 minute, I think the attorneys who are going to brief everybody on this are in the back. So just hold on.
All right.
Oh, so what's his name coming in? Fucking Favel? Is Favel's ass coming up out there? We ain't seen Favel in a long time. He's busy getting sued in court and suing people and, being our attorney, I guess. Everyone has tried marijuana? I don't think so. I'm sure there's people that haven't. But I'd say most people do, You know, even doctors and lawyers and cops and pilots and whoever. Everybody, they're just the same. Yeah, I can't wait till the chief's in there also. I mean, she's there somewhere. Maybe not standing in the room right now. She may be in the chambers in the back, whatever, I don't know. But she's supposed to be here, pleading her case. Oh, I guess these are the attorneys. The city attorneys here, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Good morning. Chief Deputy Denise Mills from City Attorney's Office. Yeah. Is this better? Chief Deputy Denise Mills for the City Attorney's Office.
And Mike Dundas for the City Attorney's Office.
Mike, can you pull the... Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry.
She got more bass than
I
you,
believe
Doc.
there was a question as to sort of setting the table and sort of what we're doing here from a procedural aspect. Mr. President, I can say generally that this is not an administrative hearing. This is a legislative action akin to a mayoral veto. So council has wide discretion on how they would like to handle this matter. One thing to note, and I don't know if Chief Crowley is here, but this goes for Chief Crowley and the members, with regards to any responses or any questions, we would just remind everybody that because this matter may be subject to litigation and the fires as well, to abide by attorney-client privilege. So please keep that in mind if there are going to be questions or responses.
Because this shit could be used against you.
Because the mayor has the power, pursuant to Charter Section 508E as in Edward, to remove the fire chief. Because the fire chief has appealed, the city council can reinstate the chief with a 2/3 vote.
Ah, so if they give her a 2/3 vote, she'll get her job back.
Thank you. All right.
So
If there's
basically,
nothing
you're
else from you
overruling
all,
the
I'll
ruling by
ask,
the mayor.
Former Chief Crowley, if she's in the audience, to come to the table.
Oh, is she here? Let's see. There she is. See, she was there the whole time. I just didn't recognize her. So now we'll hear the chief herself after being fired. And we'll see. You vote no? Fucking bird. They won't do it? I think they will. I don't know. I have a feeling they will. Yes or no? Will they vote for her to come back?
She has consented to join us
I think
this
yes,
morning,
they will.
And so we will hear from her first.
Fuck each and
Good
every
morning,
one.
everyone. Good morning, Council President. Our honored and very, very honored City Council members, our community members that have taken the time to be here and to listen in, and to our amazing and incredible LAFD firefighters who do the work every single day. Thank you so much for being here. Now I stand or sit before you today, not only as the former fire chief appealing to be reinstated, but as a leader who has always placed the safety, health, and well-being of our incredible and heroic firefighters first, while always balancing and prioritizing the needs of the community that we love to serve. Now, our firefighters, as you all know, are the absolute heart and soul of the LAFD. As public servants, we took an oath to place the needs of others before our own. At great personal risk, we will do anything and everything that we can do to save lives and to protect property. It is our calling and it is our duty. Now, as the fire chief, it was my duty and responsibility to ensure that our firefighters have everything they need to do their jobs and to make sure that they go home to their families the next day. Standing up, doing the right thing, and advocating for our firefighters, their families, and for the communities that we serve are the reasons that I am here today. Over my 25-year career, in all of the ranks that I have held, I have seen our fire department struggle from year to year with limited funding, staffing, and resources. We are past the point of sustaining our services without compromising public safety and the safety of our firefighters. For nearly 3 years, as the fire chief, I have submitted realistic budget requests that were carefully crafted based on data, reports, analysis, and recommendations from outside independent agencies that show just how understaffed and under-resourced the LAFD is. Since 2010, there's been a 55% increase in overall calls for fire and emergency services, with fewer firefighters providing those life-saving services. And yes, the LAFD is half the size we should be regarding the firefighter or paramedic positions. Lack of long-term investments in the LAFD, budget cuts, have led to increased response times, lack of available fire engines, trucks, and ambulances, deleted civilian support staff and mechanics, identified gaps in fire and emergency services, infrastructure challenges, firefighter fatigue, firefighter mental health concerns, and injuries to our firefighters.
Ooh, it's close so far.
We know
almost
that our
50-50.
firefighters are asked to do more with less every single day. When we fail to take care of our firefighters, we fail to take care of our communities. I do believe that there is a path forward, one that finds a way to
205 votes
keep our
in 1
communities
minute.
safe
Not
by
bad.
investing in long-term strategies to build out the LAFD the right way. Through your leadership, every single person around this
I'm just
horseshoe,
closer to the mic,
through
that's all.
your leadership,
Sorry.
the support of our amazing communities that we love to serve, and the continued
It's live on
dedication
NBC right
and
now, I
commitment and
bet.
sacrifice of our firefighters.
It's a big
I
deal.
am certain, deep down in my heart, that we can find a way to fund and support the LAFD now and into the future. Next, in regard to my appeal, now I will set the record straight about the multiple false accusations that were made against me. First, I did not refuse to conduct an after-action report. And let me be clear, this is a false accusation.
So the mayor's a liar.
During our discussions after an action after report, I should say, during our discussions about an after-action report, I advised the fire commissioners about my opinion that was best in regard to how to use LAFD resources. I said that the LAFD is not capable, nor do we have the proper resources to adequately conduct an after-action report for the Palisades fire due to the sheer magnitude, scope, and complexity of the incident. We are already understaffed, under-resourced, underfunded, and based on my knowledge of the LAFD's resources and capabilities, I recommended simply to collaborate with Governor Newsom's already selected and funded agency, Fire Safety Research Institute, or FSRI, because they are already conducting an independent analysis of the windstorm and fire events in the Los Angeles and Ventura counties. In contrast to the LAFD, FSRI has the capability to conduct a proper, thoroughly researched and analyzed after-action report and wildfire analysis. And the FSRI report will also be independent, which is so important as we figure out a way to move forward. This is what they're already being paid to do. Prior to me leaving the meeting, the fire commissioners agreed with my recommendation that FSRI is the best equipped to conduct the after-action report. FSRI will also be publishing its findings and recommendations like it did for the Lahaina fire that occurred in early August 2023 on the island of Maui. Now, my position has not changed, and I wholeheartedly support the need for a professional organization to conduct a full analysis of the Palisades fire. We owe that to the community, we owe that to the fire service, and that is the path forward. These steps are essential to improving response efforts, guiding recovery, and building a better and safer disaster resilience community for our future. Second, on the morning of the fire, I did not send home 1,000 firefighters who could have hopped on fire engine and fought the Palisades fire, nor did I leave 40 available fire engines unstaffed.
So again, you're saying the mayor's a liar.
False accusations as well. The 40 fire engines in question
Who's
were already
lying?
staffed and running 911 calls with on-duty personnel.
This is
and
Spider-Man
configuration.
meme pointing
When
at
the
each other.
Palisades fire broke out, those fire engines were appropriately staffed and were used where they were needed. Additionally, at 0800 hours on January 7th, 2025, the LAFD pre-deployed 24 engines, 3 battalion command teams, 5 brush patrols, 2 water tenders, additional air operations personnel, and additional dispatchers. These 128 pre-deployed and augmented personnel were strategically placed in wildfire-prone areas across the entire city, near multiple freeways to ensure a rapid response. Our actions were based on the recommendations of our subject matter experts, the LAFD's emergency operations staff. As for the 1,000 firefighters who allegedly were sent home prior to the fires, we did not have enough apparatus to put them on. Because of the budget cuts and lack of investments in our fleet maintenance, over 100 of our fire engines, fire trucks, and ambulances sat broken down in our maintenance yards, unable to be used to help during one of the worst wildfire events in our history. And third, it is also a false allegation that we failed to notify the mayor's office about the upcoming weather event. I stand by our previous statements about this. The LAFD engaged in all of its standard communications, including emailing 2 separate media advisories, conducting multiple live and recorded media interviews about the predicted extreme weather and fire danger, and also notifying city officials about the upcoming weather events. The Emergency Management Department also plays a key role in notifying the mayor's office and city officials. And the mayor's office itself also set out multiple media messages prior to the fire's warnings about the expected destructive and potential life-threatening windstorm.
424 votes in 7 minutes.
The wrong time to
48%
do the right thing
say no.
and to speak the truth. And the truth is that the fire chief should not be prevented from or punished for speaking openly and honestly about the needs and capabilities of the LAFD, or for doing their best to protect our firefighters and our communities. In closing, it has been an absolute honor of my life to serve and represent the incredible men and women of the LAFD as their fire chief. Our people do amazing things every single day, and I am so grateful beyond words to have been in this position for nearly 3 years.
I think, yes, she's going to get her job back.
We have much to be proud of, and we stand with and always will stand with the communities that we serve with integrity, compassion, and courage. I urge you to vote to reinstate me as the fire chief, but no matter how the vote goes, the LAFD, your LAFD, deserves to be properly funded, staffed, and resourced so that we can meet the ever-growing needs of the community. We owe that to the LAFD, and we owe that to those we serve. Thank you.
DEI versus DEI. Yeah, it is. So I say it's the Spider-Man meme. Spider-Man pointing at himself. It's your fault. No, it's your fault. Wait, you're both the same. Oh, it's full Spider-Man meme. Hi, Mom. I do too, Mom. I think she'll get her job back, and then now you'll have a little bit of division between the mayor and the city council, and still nothing getting done for anybody who's a victim of the fire. They're wasting their time doing this.
Discussion. I would just like to remind people in detail, because I know you.
Nobody's been helped.
Time. That to please be cognizant of the attorney-client privilege when it comes to answers or questions. That includes discussions that were held in closed session. That includes individual communications via email, text, or during conversations with the attorneys.
So Groth's reminding you, whatever you say here will be admissible in court. So be careful what you say.
Thank
oh,
you.
here we
Thank
go.
You, Chief Crowley, for being here.
Shut
Mr.
up,
Harris
Meg.
Dawson, I have a question because
Shut
there's
up,
also
Meg.
some additional information that I
Shut
believe
up,
can
Meg.
corroborate some of what Chief Crowley has asserted in terms of her cooperation that could be validated by the CAO's office. Is it an opportunity for, if Matt Szabo or Ben Sehar are here, to answer any questions? Because what we're discussing today is whether or not we should afford and honor the chief's appeal
That's a flower.
based on the cited reasons
Bigger than
that
her
were
face.
disclosed by the mayor for her dismissal. And if we have facts to corroborate her position, I think that's warranted to be heard. And so my question is, would I be afforded the opportunity to ask Mr. Szabo to come forward on some of the assertions that were made that led to her dismissal so that we could correct the record?
I will defer to the city attorney on that question, but I will point out, I will disagree with Councilmember Rodriguez. The city attorney was very clear that the mayor can fire the chief for any reason or for no reason at all. So whether or not we establish that we agree with the assessment that the mayor made or we don't agree with the assessment, it doesn't call into question the mayor's authority to make the decision that she did.
It's not questioning the mayor's authority. I'm not questioning the mayor's authority. I'm questioning what was cited as the reason. And if we're going to consider Chief Crowley's appeal, why wouldn't we consider the facts as we know them that could be corroborated by the CAO's office? And that's what I'm asking for.
Mayor needs to go. Naomi? Yeah.
So again, it's fine to do that. I just want to be clear that even if you were to discredit every one of the reasons, it does not in any way shade the mayor's authority in this regard. But we'll call the city administrative officer up to take the questions that you have, and we'll excuse Ms. Crowley from the table at this time.
Yeah, Stinks is knocked out. He just ate. Oh, he's over there asleep in the corner. Hi, Allie. How are you? Oh, yeah, he's knocked out. He's in his food coma on his heating
Mr.
pad.
Szabo,
Oh, Danish is
during
back.
our, budget
Guy with the Danish on his head.
deliberations, Your office recommended, when we had requested investigating the fire department's request for the additional mechanics to repair the apparatus, when your office recommended against funding those positions, was there anybody on your staff that went out to verify the number of apparatus that were out of commission at the time? I'm looking at a memo dated May 8th, 2024, that your office does not recommend the department's requests for the additional positions.
I don't believe so. Matt Szabo, City
Look how
Administrative
different his
Officer.
hair looks now.
The recommendation.
Remember just the little Danish? Somebody fucked his hair
in the
up
budget
bad
memo
that day.
would have been related to the fact that the positions that were eliminated were vacant positions, and many of them had been vacant for some time. And that was our consistent recommendation throughout. There was a need to eliminate positions to cover, in large part, the contractual salary increases that were negotiated. And so our position was consistent that the vacant positions recommended for elimination should have been eliminated.
Okay, so there wasn't confirmation of the fact that there were, in fact, a number of apparatus that were out of commission, and there wasn't any independent verification from your office recommending that the chief's request for those staffing positions because they were vacant. But again, just because they're vacant doesn't mean that there wasn't an objective to hire them. And I guess my question, it goes back to underscoring one of the narratives that has been put out there is this idea that all of these firefighters could have been retained on duty in order to be deployed, but they can't do it if they don't have apparatus to ride
I
them.
think it's 500 grand,
And so
Dookie.
my question is when
Lot
these
of money.
budget decisions are made, because this body is going to have to go through it again very shortly, although I suspect everyone's going to be supportive now. I just wanted to make sure that we understand and are clear what was the available apparatus for that deployment, because she's being scrutinized for these decisions. And I just want to be clear whether or not
No, it
that
says
was verified by your
113,000. That's
office
a
in
lie.
making that
No
recommendation,
way.
and the answer was
People
no.
below her make more than that. That's a lie.
That was not verified, however, at the direction of
As much as 100
the budget committee and at the
The
direction.
base salary was
of the full council.
207,000.
My office did identify funding and made recommendations working with
So they say.
Councilmember Park to restore 4 of the mechanic positions.
Plus all the
and another
benefits, of
welder
course.
position. So
Right.
there were 5 positions restored. There was a total of 4.
There were the sheet metal worker that we did in budget, and then the wildland hand
So a
crews
tick over
that we-
200.
Correct.
And the
yes.
APRUs is what we got through in budget, in the.
Grady's there.
Correct.
Right. Today, in Budget Committee, there is a recommendation from your office that is going to budget for a $150,000 expenditure for an after-action report, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, colleagues, I raise this issue because to suggest that Chief Crowley refused to participate in an after-action report, well, what after-action report? We're just now having that conversation in budget today with a $150,000 recommended expenditure to conduct an independent study of the events. So I'm, again, I think it's really important.
So you're
for us
saying
to
the
be
mayor's a
clear
liar.
in this conversation, in this deliberation, because sadly, what has occurred, and we all know and recognize what the tragedy was, and for those of us that were out in the middle of the windstorm responding to the incident in our own respective communities. We've seen a lot of the disparaging of decisions and decisions that were being made in those moments or in the immediate aftermath for political cover. But I think it's really important for us to be grounded in fact when we talk about the disparagement of a nearly 30-year career in the fire service. And so I just wanted to be clear, colleagues, that to suggest a refusal of an after-action report, which has not even yet been contracted to be completed, and I think the chief already disclosed that today, that she didn't refuse to participate in that. I just want to make sure that we are all considering the facts as they are.
Oh, but she's
You
the
can't
mayor of
participate in an
Palisades.
after-action report when you haven't even funded it yet. And so that conversation and that recommendation for $150,000 is being deliberated by our budget committee today. And so I just want to be clear, because Mr. Harris-Dawson, as you and I recall, in the after-action reports that we did with LAPD after the civil unrest, after George Floyd, we spent money. You know it takes many months for that. So to suggest an unwillingness to cooperate, for me, ran amiss from procedurally how these after-action reports are conducted. But I just wanted to clear the record and demonstrate, colleagues, that citing these issues is problematic and disparaging of a well-documented and decorated career for an individual that has honorably served this city for nearly 30 years. Thank you, Mr. Zabel. I don't know if there's others on the queue. Okay. So, thank you, Mr. Zabel. And colleagues, well, happy Women's History Month. I never thought that this would be the kind of history that we would be making today.
Oh.
This has been really tough to watch for so many reasons. Because what we're relying on is an environment of political expediency overshadowing the service of a decorated civil servant, someone who has dedicated her life and has ascended the ranks to become the head of the Los Angeles City Fire Department, something that many women have struggled to be able, a career path that many women have never been welcomed to be part of for many, many years. I firmly believe, and I'm not alone, that there was no single and sole responsibility for the tragic events that occurred. In fact, Mr. Harris Dawson, your successor, Mr. Rentana, spoke recently on a Facebook post about how there was not a single one person that can be attributed to the tragic events that occurred in the Palisades fire or even in the Altadena fire. And I believe that's true. Unfortunately, here we are. What has been made as what has been, I feel, a deflection of responsibility in this environment has landed solely at the feet of one individual.
So you're saying the mayor did a bad job.
Being cited for
And she's a liar.
these, in my opinion, falsehoods around the failures to perform.
Falsehoods, you mean lies.
Because we just established an after-action report hasn't even been funded yet, for her to even be part of, and the apparatus wasn't available.
So you caught Mayor Bass in a lie,
firefighters to be
is what you're
deployed.
saying right here, right now, is what you're saying. And you're saying she's a liar.
And what concerns me about procedurally how this has happened, because again, I don't begrudge the mayor, and I'm not questioning whether or not the mayor has the authority to hire and fire general managers. That's clear within the charter. Just as an independently elected body of the legislative branch has the opportunity for us to consider the merits of the petitioning of this employee to overturn that decision. We also have a role. And so we're exercising that role. And I'm not going to apologize for doing my job.
Shut up, Meg.
Ah.
Back it up.
It was
not me.
not long, it was just maybe a couple of hours ago that it was even suggested to me that if I was prepared to accept the political ramifications of doing what I am doing right now. I show up every day to be the person that I was raised to be. That if I see something wrong, I'm going to speak out against it, and that the truth shall prevail. Because there needs to be accountability on all sides.
Like with De
I
Leon.
didn't run for office on the premise that I would be part of a status quo. I ran for office and promised my constituents that I would stand up, and if I saw something that was wrong, I was going to fight to fix it. Where there is injustice in any neighborhood or among any individual, we should have the confidence and the strength to be able to stand up and say, we see something that is wrong. But to be coerced into this idea that there will be political ramifications for speaking up and saying the truth, clearly we're seeing that now. It's sending the wrong message to every city employee and general manager that it's safer to stay silent than to call out what's wrong. And that isn't okay. I just want to simply say to the men and women of the LA City Fire Department, you are respected and valued.
Thank you, Kat.
And we know as a number of our city employees are working with a lot of
I
deficiencies.
don't know, Kat.
We know this to be the case.
That'd be a good question.
And unfortunately, we are looking ahead at a fiscal crisis that is only
I'm
gonna
guessing
continue
yes,
to
that there'd be a
exacerbate
recourse to it.
a lot of the challenges that we're currently experiencing.
Thank you, Kat. But I would bet they could come back, or she could come back and overrule their ruling.
But scapegoating and pointing fingers is not going to aid us in correcting these shortcomings. And I think we all have to be honest about the only failure that I believe Chief Crowley had was thinking that people had their back. And so for that, I apologize. Because as the leader of this department, you don't deserve it. I know how many of you get force hired. I know how many of you are working in stations that are dilapidated. We see it. We see it in a number of city departments right now. We got a lot of work to do. And I look forward to us digging in, having hard conversations to continue to do that work. But what I won't stand by and do is allow false narratives to be used and levied against an individual who clearly is not deserving of it for the purposes of that individual I saw working 24/7 from the moments those fires are even preceding the fires erupting. On January 7th at 10:30 p.m., when I was en route to the Hearst Fire command post, I got a call from Chief Crowley making sure that I had all the details of what was happening in my own community and the potential threats for evacuations. I got the call. So when people tell me that they're not getting the call, I don't understand, because my experience reflects otherwise. So, colleagues, I believe that it is inherent upon us as leaders to make difficult decisions, whatever the political ramifications are. I don't give a damn. I believe it's important to let the truth prevail. And you shouldn't disparage or suggest that someone refused to do their job when I've got more than 25 years of examples of how this person has shown up to do it.
Eduardo, thank you.
So, colleagues, thank you. I ask that we honor the appeal of Kristen Crowley and reinstate her as fire chief for the Los Angeles Fire Department.
Shut up, Meg.
Thank you, Eduardo Mejia.
Is there a second to this motion?
Yeah, at least Stinks is hanging out today, Eduardo.
Councilmember Park. Councilmember Park.
Thank you, Council President. I second Councilwoman
Wake
Rodriguez's
up.
motion, and I have comments.
Please proceed with your comments.
All right, here we go.
Colleagues,
She's always got
Council
something
District
to say.
11 is home to the worst devastation our city has ever seen. Many of my constituents lost their lives. Thousands of families lost their homes, while businesses, our schools, our parks, our library, and our places of worship were decimated, destroying the fabric of our community. The burn scar and rubble are now a toxic wasteland, twice the size of Manhattan, and debris flow and mudslides are causing even more damage as toxic debris is polluting our waterways and our ocean.
And it rains tomorrow for the next 2 days.
If anyone deserves answers, it's the people of the Pacific Palisades and me. As a city, we owe them answers. We owe ourselves answers. And we'll get them. We deserve to know how and whether our emergency operations plans were followed and whether EMD protocols were followed. Who made the decisions about how to prepare and when? Because just like my constituents, I am deeply disturbed by reports of underdeployment in the Pacific Palisades.
1 more minute for the poll.
Where there had been a fire just days before. We deserve to know who made that decision and why. We also deserve to know why the Palisades evacuations turned into chaos and gridlock, in addition to why America's second largest city didn't have water in our fire hydrants to respond to an emergency. We deserve to know why our critical water infrastructure necessary to protect our neighborhood was kept offline for a year without any apparent notice.
A year before the fire.
We deserve to know how many homes burned on Wednesday and Thursday, and how many more families became victims of failed infrastructure and the lack of resources. These are questions that go beyond one department. They touch our entire city, from top to bottom. No one wants answers more than me, and there will be accountability. But as of today, we are still in the middle of an emergency. Not one single investigation has been completed, not even the origin and cause investigation led by the ATF or the state-led FSRI after action review directed by Governor Newsom.
So nothing's been done.
At most, we've heard one partial
Someone
side
told
of
you
things
that.
from Chief Crowley, and the rest is opinion and hearsay reported by the media. As a council, we also unanimously approved an outside independent after action review. I can't speak to each of your reasons for supporting that effort, but I'll tell you why I introduced it. Because the fire department and the city should not be investigating itself following the biggest disaster in our city's history, nor should it be investigated by a commission of political appointees. All of this is why I have serious concerns about what we're being asked to do today. We don't have those completed investigations, no finding of fact, no developed record whatsoever to base this decision on. There isn't even a burden of proof or a standard that has to be met for us as a body to make a decision. This isn't a court of law. It isn't even a search for the truth. Rather, this is just a game of rumor and hearsay that's being litigated in the press via leaks, anonymous sources, and within political commissions. This is anything today but independent, factual, and objective.
Daniel Gus is going to have a field day today on KFI 640
I want to
at
say
2
something
p.m.
to my constituents who took the time to share their thoughts with me on both sides of this issue. I've read every single one of your emails, every word. You deserve answers and accountability, and that might very well mean firing everyone who has culpability across multiple departments.
Holy smokes.
And I have no problem with that.
Holy smokes.
But I wouldn't do it without a well-informed record and actual evidence to support that decision, and I don't have it today. And for that reason, I will be supporting the motion to reinstate, because accountability doesn't just stop with one person or one department. We need to let independent investigations guide our actions, not the politics. Thank you.
I'm telling you, she's going to get it back. They're going to give it to her.
Councilmember Padilla.
Oh, here we go. The down-ass girl. She got her mask on too, eh? Let's get it.
You know, members, what I want to say is that Chief Crowley, with my team,
Is she gonna
was
sniff?
instrumental last summer in developing a plan to address the fire-prone nature of the Sepulveda Basin in my district. Together, this team effort of clearing much of the dry bush in the basin has helped reduce the overall risk. And on the day of the winds, we saw that the work of the summer paid off when they finally arrived, because we didn't have as much chaos as other parts of the city. However, I do believe there is a need for accountability regarding the way the fire response of the Palisades went down. So I want to acknowledge that while today's conversation is difficult, and we look to all of the pros and cons of what is in front of us, we cannot allow this conversation to overshadow the extraordinary work, bravery, and dedication of our first responders and firefighters who battled this disastrous fire, because honestly, it's starting to feel that way, and I'm over it. So generally, I myself am someone who believes that there is a time and a place for everything. There needs to be, because when there is not, what the public sees and the public feels is nothing but chaos and confusion. So my disappointment with this situation is that the chief chose the wrong time and the wrong place to raise an issue. Spending time talking to the press to tell her side of the story, which I think is important, versus at the command center during the fires, raises major concerns about what proper timing should be.
Uh-oh.
And it is because of that that I hope that we recognize that this is a mayor doing what is within her jurisdiction to fire someone she inherited. And I think that it's important that we remember that true public safety will require our mayor to be able to get along with all of her chiefs and all of her general managers. So as this decision happens, I hope that for the most part, we remember that sometimes it's okay to agree to disagree.
All right, so we got some opposition.
Councilmember McCosker.
Oh boy. Buckethead.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
What happened to his top lip? It's missing.
We've been urged correctly to put public safety as the highest and first priority. I want to reground myself on making sure
Bass
that we
player,
put
thank you for the
public
dono.
safety first as the highest priority. Cities were formed eons ago solely for this purpose. Folks pushed their huts together and lived together to make sure that collectively they can make themselves safe. And the city has no reason to exist if we can't make people safe and uplift their lives. I want to thank the chief for coming today and giving such powerful testimony. I want to thank the public for coming and giving testimony. As a son of a UFLAC household, I want to thank the union
The union.
for giving such powerful testimony. You know, in the sort of the nearly 40 years I've been around this,
He pussy.
and certainly 20 years I've been close to it, in and out, it's true that no fire chief has been more effective, and no fire chief has come close to being an advocate for the women and men of her department.
Smoke.
It was a very low bar. It was a very low bar to get over, I will say. Most chiefs spend their time, that's how they become chiefs, spend their time looking up above themselves and trying to please the mayor. So it's very brave to
Bass is
speak
cooked.
up. And I acknowledge that, and I'm honored by that. And I'm really, really honored that the rank and file are looking up into management and saying that they support that sort of thing and want to see that in the future. And the chief has had her effect on this department. I think those mechanics wouldn't have happened without the chief's advocacy. The hand crew wouldn't have happened without the chief's advocacy. I think there's a long way for us to go. But I will say, having been around this for a long time, again, in and out of city service, the mayor has her power. The council has its responsibility. The mayor exercised her power. The council is facing its responsibility today. I will also say that I've lived through circumstances where a mayor and the head of a public safety unit didn't see eye to eye. And I'm not qualified to say whose fault that was. And I'm not even qualified or charged with the responsibility of deciding who's right and who's wrong, because at the basic core of our job is to ensure public safety. And a good friend of mine reminded me today that our vocation, our mission, is that all of us have that same mission to provide for public safety. And quite often, maybe always, the mission is larger than ourselves. The mission is larger than ourselves. And I shouldn't turn to firefighters when I say that. I should turn to us, because firefighters know that.
Why isn't the mayor there? She
And
didn't
the
deem
mission
it
of providing
important.
public safety and ensuring that going forward, we can provide for a safe and effective and functional city will require a tough choice.
Because they're questioning
The
her
most politically
authority.
expedient thing for a guy like me would be to say the union's right,
The union.
and we should force two people to work together who may not be able to work together. But I've lived through that. It can be disastrous. And so, with a very, very, very heavy heart, I will say that I'm going to put the goal of public safety and a functional city above what might be more politically expedient for me.
There's 15 votes, Haley's comment.
Because
15 of
sometimes
them.
we need to risk our jobs to do our jobs. And I think our role here is to make
Really,
sure that
Cubby?
we can move forward. And with very heavy heart,
Well, they caught her in a lie
I'm
right
going
there.
to support the power of the mayor in this matter and say that very often doing the right thing comes with a sacrifice. Very often. And this is one of those circumstances. We owe it to people that this government can be functional off into the future. And I think the way to make our government functional is to avoid a circumstance where we have an executive officer and the head of a department that can't work together.
She needs 2/3 majority, I think they said. Yeah, so she'd need 10. 10 of the
Thank you.
15 to vote her away.
Councilmember Lee.
Mr. President, I'd like to move that we receive and file this item.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion?
Mr. President, for the record, the motion to receive and file is introduced by Councilmember
Right,
Lee
bass
and
player?
seconded by
Or
Soto
bass
Martinez
player,
and
bass
Price.
player. Thank you for the donuts. bass player.
Councilmember Soto
Appreciate you.
Martinez.
I'm thinking of Mayor
Thank you so
Bass.
much, Council President.
Then I
would
see
like to
bass
call a
player.
question on this item.
Oh,
All right, the question is before us. Mr. Lee, seconded by, who's it, Mr. Clark, who's the seconder? Mr. Price?
President,
Yes, the
Councilmember
mayor is
Lee's,
Karen
motion
Bass.
to
Of course
receive
her
and
name is
file was
Karen.
seconded by Soto Martinez and Councilmember Price.
Thank you again,
All right,
bass
let's
player.
open the roll on that item.
And Mr. President, if we may take a vote on the call to question.
And,
All right.
And was there a second on the motion to call the question?
Mr. Price.
Mr. Price? Okay. So because not everybody has had the opportunity to speak twice, it will require 10 votes to successfully call the question on this.
All right, let's open the roll on calling the question. Close the roll. 10
You'd have to recall Bass. Oh,
13 ayes, 2 no.
only 2 no's.
All right.
So she got her
The
job back.
council may now consider
Yes.
a motion
Oh,
Lee,
that's a different
Soto
motion,
Martinez, Price to receive and file the matter.
All right, let's open the roll on that matter. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes, 2 no.
Park and
This matter is
Rodriguez.
received and filed.
All right, thank you so much, everybody. What's next?
Mr. President, the council may now move on to consider items 1 through 8, 10, 18 through 29.
All right, those items are now before us, members.
No
Let's
clapping.
open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote. Mr. Escobar, please stop disrupting the meeting. That's your first warning.
So is this
All right,
item
what's
fi-
before us, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. President, the council may now vote on items 1 through 8, 10, and 18 through 29.
All right, those items are now before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
15 ayes.
What's next?
The council may now vote on item 17, called special by Councilmember Rodriguez for a separate vote.
All right, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes, 1 no.
All right, what's next?
Mr. President, the council may now consider item 11, for which motion 11A.
30 passed, right? Only 2 said no.
Convenience or necessity application.
I told you she'd get her job back.
Has been introduced,
Yeah.
circulated, and posted on the bulletin board.
All right, let's open the roll,
I think that's
close the
right.
roll,
Am I
tabulate
wrong?
the vote.
15 ayes.
All right, what's next?
I'm pretty sure.
The council may now consider item 12, for which motion 12A, Harris Dawson Hernandez, to waive accumulated interest,
Yes,
late fees, and
Mary
late charges
Terry.
associated with the lien on the subject property, has been introduced,
That's it.
circulated, and posted on the bulletin board.
All right, my apologies, Councilmember Jurado. I'm not sure if you want to
No,
speak
I
on
think
this
that
item
she's
or
been
or the previous
reinstated.
item.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to speak
All
on
but 2.
actually item number 26 to have it sent forthwith.
All
Sorry
right,
about
without without objection, item 26 forthwith.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. One more time, Mr. Clerk, what's before us?
Yes, sir. The
Right, it was
matter before
13 to
council is
2
item
in
12,
favor of
for which
reinstatement.
Motion 12A, Harris Dawson Hernandez, has been
I'm pretty
introduced,
sure.
circulated, and posted on the bulletin board.
That's why they all got
All
up
right,
and
let's
left.
open the roll on this item, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
15
There's
ayes.
Spindler. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him.
All right, what's next?
Council has motions for posting and referral.
They are posted and referred. Announcements, members, on the west side of the room, my left side. Any announcements? All right, right side, east side. Councilmember Hutt.
Look at him there.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm deeply proud and honored to collaborate with Senator Smallwood Cuevas, the LA Commons, and the community to elevate the visibility of South Los Angeles Cultural District. Together, we create a lasting legacy that
can't fire her
celebrates the
twice.
diversity and the heritage of this remarkable community. I want to express my sincere gratitude to Senator Smallwood Cuevas for her instrumental role in securing the opportunity to establish landmarks and monuments in South Los Angeles. This collaborative effort will not only create tangible places that resonate with the community, but also preserve and celebrate the rich history of
Thank you,
South Los
Nirvana.
Angeles. This includes its connection to the Great Migration
Me too,
and the
Nirvana. Thank
Pan-African
Here's mine,
diaspora
too.
in South Los Angeles. As we embark on this exciting project, I'm particularly enthusiastic about the community outreach meeting led by LA Commons, which will ensure that the historical context of South Los
Oh, so I
Angeles
was completely
and Black
wrong. I was the
history
complete opposite,
is accurately
Haley?
represented and honored. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much,
who are the
Councilmember
two that
Hutt, and thank you to
that voted
you and
to
Senator,
not? To reinstate.
Was
Was Hugo and who else?
Smallwood Cuevas for bringing this important thing to our city and to our communities. City Attorney.
Yes, apologies. I did not want to interrupt Councilmember Hutt or you, Mr. President. Mr. Spindler, while I
Mr.
do
Spindler.
appreciate you yielding some of your time today to allow more people to speak, please do not disrupt this meeting. The announcements are a part of the meeting, so this is your first and only formal warning. Go ahead.
Any other announcements
Look at his
on
face
the
after he
right side
said
of the
it.
room, east side of the room? All right, I'll ask everybody in the chambers to rise for adjourning motions.
I guess
and
that's
ask
it.
if there are any adjourning motions, member, for today's meeting. All right, seeing no adjourning motions, we are adjourned. Thank you so much, everybody.
All right. So adjourning motions are done. Oh, what's up, guys? So that's it. So I guess she's been reinstated or not reinstated. I guess she has not been reinstated. There's Cali Plains. He's at SFO watching the planes land. I'll link you his page. You can go check him out. Shout out to Cali Plains. Looks like it's rainy up there up north. Yeah, so. Yeah, man. Yeah, so I'm guessing she's still staying at home then. I guess a lot of them didn't want to overstep the mayor. They knew that would be detrimental to the rest of their career. So that's why I was going on about, so you're saying she's a liar. Like, just come out and say it. It's okay, you can tell me the mayor's a liar. We know she is. And she just got caught in a lie. I get it, but you don't want to say anything. You're the big, tough freedom fighter, but you don't want to fucking say nothing. Here's Cali Plains' page, guys. You can click like and subscribe. Tell them I sent you.
Learjet, safe travels, friend. It's done randomly? Yeah. Super random.
Let me go down.
Super duper random. That I can't even figure
loud.
it out.
There we go.
Alright. Let's go.
Coming in for a land in Alaska Air. Oh boy. Fucking birds everywhere. Oh boy.
Next arrival is Alaska Airlines from JFK. It's a MAX 9 arriving on 28 right.
They are condescending as fuck. And
What in the world?
I just think it's never, you're never gonna get far with these people.
Thank you. We're sending,
You really aren't. They've done nothing. I think the only way to make the city go forward is to fire all 15 of them evenly, get them all the fuck out of there, and hire one person to do all of it. If one person can run a state, surely one could run a city. You know what I mean, Vern? So, that's where I'm at. You know how much money you'd save at $200,000 a pop for their salaries? Millions of dollars, just right there. Not to mention all their benefits and all the other shit that they get eaten up going to fucking France on our dime to go watch the Olympics. You think they're paying for all that? OCB, thank you so much. They bent the knee to Bass. They absolutely did. You're absolutely right.
That is correct.
Thank you, OCB. Couldn't have said it better myself. It's absolutely true, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to bend the knee, and that's just how they do it. And again, they understand that as much as they may not like, even they, again, see it happening right in front of their faces, but don't say anything about it. Right? Because they're scared. They know it'll kill their political career. And that's just it. They got to kiss the ring. And that's where we're at. It's a sad deal. And that's why I say the city's never going to get anywhere by having these squanderers where they're at.
Oh my god, no way. Thank you so much, Base Nail. You are awesome.
50 euro? Sheesh. Sheesh. That's a big dono, bro. Space Nail gave him 50 euros. Let's get it. So I got to what, 65 bucks? Something like that. I don't know. I don't know the exchange rate right now.
Keep the channel going.
Yeah, we'll be live tonight for our normal Taco Tuesday fun.
Air France on final. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, Jillian.
Yeah, I'll be getting off soon here. But we'll be live tonight
You are awesome, friend. Thank you
for
so
our
much.
Taco Tuesday fun, like I said.
Pounds, right? Yeah, 50 pounds. Thank you so much, man, for the 50 pounds. Appreciate it a lot, friend.
You're saying the vote
You
was
are awesome,
postponed.
friend. Thank you so much. Alex is here. Hello, Alex. Good morning, good afternoon. Oh, yes, I did say hello to you. Oh, boy.
Absolutely, JTK. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. There's too much money to squander here. You already see what they're doing. So, I mean, come on. You've already had a good test drive. You know the car's no good. Shout out to Satan Carter.
Shout out. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Carter, appreciate it a lot. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
I just think that you know what you're headed for. So what are we doing here? What are we doing other than wasting money, spinning our wheels? I want to get some traction and going in a direction. So, clean sweep. What did they do in Dalton? What was it? Clean House. Clean House 2025. That's what we need to do. Clean house. And one person runs all the districts. Simple and fun and done. That's it.
Emiliano says Damon loves me. What in the world?
Fucking Emiliano.
Hello, Marja. How's it going? Marja,
Don't worry, Emiliano. You're
hello, hello.
your month's almost here, bud. Soon. It's coming up. It was the opposite. See, my thought was that she won the vote. It was 13-2, and she got reinstated. That's what I thought. People are telling me otherwise, that I have it a completely the opposite. I don't know. We'll find out, won't we? So. Okay, so there it is. Breaking news. City Council denies former LAFD chief appeal 13-2. Okay, so she is still fired. She does not have her job back. And that is what I didn't think was going to happen. I thought she would be reinstated and get her job back. But Channel 5 just confirmed it on my phone right now. All the confusion is now done in the chat room. Okay? 13-2. So the 2 must have been, like I said, Hugo and somebody else. Well, I mean, she's not fired again. She's just, that's it. She lost her appeal to become unfired. She's only going to get fired one time. And that's it. So that's it for now. And I guess the chief that they had, the interim chief that they had, that the Mayor Bass had put in position right away, is now officially the legitimate LA fire chief. Don't know his name. I forgot his name, but I remember we saw him speak the other day. So yeah, man. Oh, that's not what I wanted. All right, hold on. Let's just do this then. Let's just keep you there. That's a big jet. Oops, sorry. That's a big ass jet. That's the big ass jets. All right, Kat. Have a great night or day. Hopefully, we can see you later tonight. Thank you for the dono as well. Have a fantastic day.
Alright, I'll find out the flight from Guam. I think it's new, friend. I haven't seen it. That will be the first time that I see it too. Hello, George.
It's a Boeing 777.
Good morning.
It's a big jet.
Baker, how's it going? Good morning. Good afternoon. Welcome to San Francisco. We're watching the departures and arrivals.
Should fire Bass? Yeah, you can't fire her. You can't fire the mayor, but you can recall her, just like you did the governor. But what good did that do? What good did that do? He's still there, isn't he? So, yeah, you'd have to do the same, do a recall effort, and have her recalled properly.
Something like that.
Okay, so here we go. Los Angeles City Council didn't. Hold on, let me just turn his audio down.
Okay.
Hold on. So I'm gonna read from. Oh, come on. All right. So I'm gonna read from Channel 5, just literally 1 minute ago from their site. The Los Angeles City Council denied former Los Angeles Fire Department Chief Kristen Crowley appeal her over her dismissal on Tuesday in a 13-2 vote. Council members Tracy Park and Monica Rodriguez were the only two to vote in favor of her reinstatement. Crowley needed votes of 10 of 15 council members to successfully appeal her firing and gain reinstatement. LA Mayor Bass fired Crowley February 21st, citing best interests for the city. So there you have it. There's again the confirmation from Channel 5, read directly. So Tracy Park and Monica, so Meg and Tracy, the one with the blonde hair and the glasses, were the only two that voted to reinstate her. Everyone else said, fuck you. So does that mean Meg and Tracy Park are now going to have a hard time with the mayor? You know what I mean? Is the mayor going to see the way they voted and the way they were speaking about it and do anything? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing. I'm guessing it wouldn't be a smooth dinner anymore. Just my opinion, though. Just my opinion. So there was the confusion. The confusion is all gone now. Yes. And officially, Kristen,
you're fired.
That's it. They're all history, you think? Well, from your mouth to God's ears, as they say. Yeah. It's just, it's a bad situation. It really is. It's, nothing's going to change until you did fire all of them. I really believe that. You can't keep any of them. And you can't have their predecessor or whatever. You need all new thought, an all new person to do it all and get it done. Okay? And that goes for many, many things that they're in control of. Because they're in control of a lot of the budget. Okay? So they're just as much to blame for the broken fire trucks and all that other shit. Because they're wasting money on gender studies and cultural fucking diversity and all this other fucking bullshit instead of fixing the hiring more firefighters. And then the ones you do hire are there because of the color of their skin or because they identify as a golf ball. Again, I can't stress it enough. It doesn't matter the color of your skin or your gender. It matters if you know how to do the goddamn job. And enough of this world where you get hired for that, and then when you're fired for your incompetence because you shouldn't have got the job in the fucking first place, you then claim racism. So, that's just my opinion on the matter. Okay? I want somebody that can drag me out of the fire, not tell me that I put myself in the wrong position. God damn. Jesus Christ. Yeah, politics is cutthroat. They also didn't tell you why we also have a low staffing on the fire department. They didn't tell you how the LA City Council created vaccine mandates that are still in place today as I am talking to you on this mic. And they're still firing firefighters and cops for not taking that shit. Okay? They don't tell you about that either, and that was due to their doing. Okay? All these people that are hurting for rent money and all that, they were forced to stay in longer than any other state in the entire country. We were locked down here longer than any of you guys. That's why you still see so many idiots with the fucking masks on, because they've been, completely thoroughly washed. Completely thoroughly brainwashed. They're still waiting for a curve to flatten. They still think that idiot Fauci was here to save them. That's how fucking stupid they are. 4 years fucking later. So, yeah, my body, my choice. Apparently it only works that way when it's abortion. It's abortion rights. It's my body, my choice. You need to take a vaccine? No, you all need to take it. Every Karen in the world coming out. Bitch, you ain't even have to worry about an abortion. Ain't nobody nutting up in you. The fuck out of here. Have you seen you? You're the poster child for fucking erectile dysfunction. Fuck. Alright, I'm out of here, guys. I gotta go. Enough fucking ranting and raving. It is what it is. She didn't get reinstated. I was wrong. I thought she'd get reinstated. I really did. I really thought they'd all bend the knee and get it done. But nope. Only two bent the knee, and now we'll see where it gets them in life. Because I assure you the mayor saw that. The mayor wasn't there for that reason. And, the mayor is a piece of crap. Another token hire. So, it is what it is. I'll see you guys tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Please keep the notifications on, so that way, in case we get us a chase in 17 minutes from now, we can all jump back in here and hang out with Stinks and watch a good chase. But I don't think that's going to happen because 2025 sucks. So, having said that, I want you guys to have a fantastic day. It's Taco Tuesday. Go get you some tacos, and I'll see you guys at 8.
This party is officially over.
Yeah, you guys. I'm going home.